Tonight on 8.5 Bit, we try to control ourselves, try to control our squad, and try to control the legions of doom. Welcome, friends of all. Welcome, clicks of all.
Welcome, clicks of all.
Welcome, clicks of all to clicks. Welcome, friends of all designs, to episode 269 of 8.5 Bit. And this episode is not going to talk about control. I realized after that amazing intro, which we always think of.
I mean, we can a little bit.
We will be talking about Disco Elysium, Phoenix Point, and Remnant from the Ashes, among other games. We could have just talked about sex.
We could.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
It is big news.
Which, of course, will bring us to the new Xbox news, which we'll get to eventually. Or maybe right now, I don't know. So, how are you boys? It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right.
Now, it is the season. I'm going to probably release this on Christmas itself.
So it'd be a present for everyone to enjoy.
Exactly. So that means we have to bring up the Christmas mascot.
Yep. Christmas rat.
Yes.
Christmas rat, my fabled.
The happiest Christmas mascot there is.
Put him right there in the middle.
Right there.
You can't. Actually, he probably could sit there without causing much issue.
Look at that. It's perfect.
So
Christmas rat is now the buffer.
Yeah.
Christmas rat is my. I know most people listen to this audio, but just look at. I'll put up a screenshot at least from the
Of Christmas rat.
thing. Christmas rat is my. Well, antique is. I don't know what its origin is. It's from hell. But yes, we found it in a shop, and it's made of wire and paper, and it is the happiest fruit-bearing Christmas rat of all time.
Bring in all the children fruit
Yeah,
so they don't
lemons
get
and
scurvy at
apples
Christmas.
and, yeah.
I love Christmas rat.
It's got a scarf.
I talked about Christmas rat for months, and everyone told me to shut up. But then eventually, they bought it for me.
It's your
Nice.
cats, isn't
It's like-
it? It's the old
That
cats.
Christmas rat. I don't
It could
think
very
anyone's
much
buying
be
that.
straight from cats.
Yeah. Paul has not shut up about cats.
I'm very excited about cats. So new news about cats. I didn't realize. Apparently, because it hasn't come out here yet. It's coming out on Boxing Day. I'm looking very much forward to it. Apparently, the cockroaches have human faces, and Rebel Wilson eats them liberally.
The
more I hear about this,
you have legitimately got me excited for cats.
I mean, I think I can't say we won't be disappointed. It's entirely possible, but I feel the mindset that the reasons I want to see cats are not the reasons people wanted cats to be good.
no.
It's bold. It's just fucking freaky. Like the first review I read, I likened it to Jodorowsky and David Lynch. And like one person complained, they just introduced themselves over and over again and then the musical's over. It's like, yeah, that's fucking Cats. It's a shit musical. It's the worst mainstream musical of all time. It doesn't have a plot.
Because I've never seen Cats.
It's
Wow,
shit.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
It's got some bangers. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Memories is
We
a
had
banger.
to study it.
You had to study Cats.
Yeah, in I don't know what the equivalent grade is here. It was in grade 6, maybe.
Is that like the sixth layer of
The
hell?
music, it was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
We had to watch it like 5 times and
I mean,
go over all the nonsense.
I guess in high school I did do a musical based on Macbeth. The music was not good.
Didn't everyone? There was something Macbeth related.
Oh, yeah.
for
People do
everyone.
Macbeth. Very rarely musicals.
I think I did Macbeth 5
I'm
times
getting
too.
so many foot finger licks right now.
You lucky boy.
Yeah.
Your feet fingers
I
are
wish
tasty.
I was licking your foot fingers.
It's
And actually, we'll give a little bit of context to that comment. We were discussing Spanish before
Oh
the
yeah,
show.
I was discussing words that because I've been learning Spanish, words that exist in English but not in Spanish, and one of them is toes.
Yes,
the
which
word
was quite
toes does
surprising.
not exist.
I kind of imagine every language would just have words for every visible
For
part of the
body
body.
parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do.
'cause
It's
I-
foot fingers.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, the other ones I mentioned were awkward and struggle, which are more abstract concepts, and I kind of
Yeah.
understand that maybe it's a blind
Especially
spot.
awkward. I mean, Larry David does not exist in every culture.
Yeah, so, but toes.
Toes exist everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the colder
But
climates.
is it one of those things where it sounds weird because we translated it back to English?
No, it's because
that
it's
is
actually,
their word
I
for
can't-
toes.
I can't actually remember the
Like
the
it's-
words, but
it's
it's
a
actually
word.
the word for
Like an
fingers,
amalgamated word.
Der,
Yeah, okay.
feet. Like it's
Fingers of the
it's
feet.
the fingers of the feet. Like it literally is.
But
that.
they don't have. But
that's
the
quite
word-
smart.
But fingers isn't
Like-
fingers of the hand, right?
No,
No, they're
Yeah,
fingers.
exactly.
Yeah,
So these are fingers are the more important object on your body.
Yeah.
Clearly.
and these are just my foot fingers.
Yeah. Instead of toes of the hand.
Yeah.
Oh god, what? So many licks.
And arms of the hip for your legs. Like
Mouth of the bottom. Okay.
Going forever.
We understand that. Also in movie news, we saw the Star Wars movie.
Yes.
Did
And
you
have
see the
seen
Star
it?
Wars movie?
Not yet.
Here's our spoiler-filled review.
But I wish to.
So James,
I'm happy to have spoilers at
James
this stage.
saw it. We're not actually
No,
going to
no,
say
I
any
know.
spoilers. James saw it, and I was like, "What's it like?" And you were like,
I enjoyed it.
"What do you mean? What's your hot take?"
I think I said I wasn't bored. It was conclusive. Had some surprises, and I think
that's about
I think
it.
it was a bit. That was my
That was
And-
yeah.
and-
Oh, and
dot
I'm
points.
interested to see what happens next. There were the 4 hot
And
takes
then I chastised James for
Yeah.
losing his ability to critically view movies
because the internet has been
Um,
universally. The fandom is very upset about this movie.
Oh no, they're not.
Oh, it's just is it the internet rage machine?
There's like
The
mixed,
critics
There's mixed
are
things
mixed.
on it. There's mixed things. Like I wouldn't say a huge group is like a universally in love or anything,
Yeah.
but it's way more accepted than the shit. I'm not. Well, I was fine. No, I'm not. Blah, I'm just talking. Let's just talk about this movie anyway. I had no major problems with The Last Jedi. It just had some bad filmmaking in it as well, and most Star Wars movies do. None of them are perfect. But yeah, because he's a Jumanji-loving motherfucker.
Yeah, oh man,
so I
I'm
was
so
like,
keen
Because
on Jumanji.
we are Jumanji lovers.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
That game's got.
You're gonna you watch that straight after Cats?
Oh, yeah.
Just to cleanse the palate.
Look, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing stand out about it either. It's just a thing that you
No,
like
but it's a lot of fun.
ingest and it just should just leave your brain afterwards.
But Jack Black.
Just watch his YouTube channel. I mean, still watch the movie. I'm not saying don't watch the movie. I'm just saying, why is it a highlight of the year? That year, you were like, "This is my favorite
This is
movie
my
of the
movie
year."
of the year,
I'm like,
Jumanji.
"The fuck is wrong with you?"
I just like Jumanji.
What's stuck? Anyway, we're not here to talk about Jumanji.
Can we? Can we be?
But yes, James has no critical skills anymore. So then I saw the movie. I'm like, yeah, James is right. It's like, I got not the best movie ever. I think my biggest problem with it is I'm actually just kind of done with Star Wars. My heart doesn't race at any of the ideas anymore that they did when I was younger. Also, I'm old and I've been
Just
sitting
more
with the ideas.
Star
from-
Wars, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And they had things I liked. And actually, the big thing that's controversial-ish near the end, I was actually 100% fine with. I'm like, whatever. I get it. I know what they're doing structurally. Blech. Man, I got a weird, cool croak in my voice right now.
Yeah. This is normally what happens, like when the microphone starts compressing wrong on the internet.
It's just my voice.
Yeah, now it's just your voice is
I'm just
compressing
excited
wrong.
about the Star Wars. Those space... Man, whenever I call it the Space Wizards movie, some people take a lot of offense and some people find it quite cute.
It's very accurate.
They're just Space Wizards.
I've seen there's a small subset of people that get angry when you try and say that it's not technically sci-fi. I'm like, are you nuts? It's not sci-fi.
It is. Whenever
Space
someone
Wizards.
tries to apply very strict, hard rules to Star Wars, it kind of blows my mind
Yeah.
because it is just space wizards doing
It's a space opera.
whatever
That's
they
what it
want at
is.
any one time. They're just in the backyard playing. It's like, I fired lightning. Well, I got a lightning resistant shield. Well, my lightning has -1 lightning resistant shield. And
It's roleplay with none of the structure.
yeah, exactly. It can do anything.
I actually liken it a bit to Destiny, like in its tone. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Destiny.
Yeah, but these wizards wear robes.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of robes in Destiny.
Yeah, but not the wizards.
The warlocks do. Oh, that's right. They're warlocks, not wizards.
It's our wizards.
That wizard came from the moon.
Which
Which is really like, it's lame. I guess I'm kind of like, I took an arrow to the knee when I say that. Except I genuinely loved that line when it was said. I fucking love, and it had so much promise to me. And then when the wizard appeared, and it was just some space whatever. I was very disappointed. I wanted a pointy hat covered with moons. How fucking good would it have been if they were just ye olde wizards? Anyway, should we talk about some things in the video game
Yes,
realm?
because there's a lot.
I guess
We could have
Destiny is a
Good
video
list.
game. Just for some start of structurally, I'm actually going to start with the Game Awards.
Oh yeah.
Because that will lead us into a few other things. So, Game Awards, Jeff Keighley's big thing. Normally it's just a love letter to Kojima, but sometimes he talks about other games as well. They announced a bunch of games and showed off a bunch of games, which it's funny. It's like the fact that that's the highlight of the awards, and we don't primarily talk about the awards is kind of
I just
pity.
skipped through.
Oh, yeah. You just go like summary of all all announcements from awards. Okay, so let's just start with the big one. They revealed the new Xbox, the Xbox Series X. The line is just called Xbox. But this model is called the Series X, and there will be multiple models in this generation.
So they've joined Nintendo in confusing people who don't know what they're
it's
buying.
so fucked up. It doesn't really matter in the long run because I think people must be getting more savvy with electronics over time.
Yeah.
Except there are still a bunch of people that aren't.
Well, I guess it's going to depend on what level of backwards compatibility we got.
Yeah.
I mean, because
all is what they're saying.
so if it goes all, then it's really just more of a phone model. It's like, people are used to, all right, I buy a phone, I get a phone, I keep everything. Like, it's not alien to them. So it kind of works. But then at some point, though, they need to go... Like, I'm sorry, I meant forward compatibility. Like, there needs to be some way to say this isn't going to run on the old thing.
Yeah.
That's where things might
So
get a bit confusing.
things on
They
the,
need to not pull a
things
Wii
on-
U.
Yeah.
things on the Sex will not run on
Yeah.
the Xbox One Pro.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not. It's Xbox One X, isn't it?
One X,
See,
yeah.
already. It's
Yeah.
like a
Already
thing with an
confusing.
X. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So it's the Series X, but it's not a 1X.
it'll be fine for us. We'll deal with it
Yeah.
fine.
They
It's-
really should just give it like a Gen 2 or something. Give it a simple
give
number.
it go Apple and give it a year number.
Yeah. Yeah, this requires at
They're
least
gonna- except for the fact that they may release multiple year because they're going to start having different models, possibly a streaming only model or a discless model, and
Because I actually wouldn't mind if they end up going that... This is the way that basically Apple does it now, where it's more operating system based. And they just go, well, here's, we're going to have the sliding
Here's
window.
your hardware.
Yeah, and at some point the hardware's going to be, look, we can't update anymore. You're going to have to get a new one. But by that point, it's like, hey, pretty old.
yeah, it's messy.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Well, for us, and really, why do we care about anyone but us?
Yeah.
We don't have
We don't,
responsibility
do we?
over anywhere. Yeah, we don't have to have responsibility for anyone else until April.
Getting close.
I was talking about what I'll do child rearing for his game education
Yeah,
today.
you can raise him
And the
understanding the names.
Yeah, the wife thought I was being silly. And he'll just play with whatever iPad is out at the time. I'm like, fuck the iPad. We're starting at core basics here. We've got an Intellivision going.
Yeah, I guess...
You need to like fast track him through all of his gaming
Exactly.
history.
Well-
once he can play, decade a year.
One a year.
Yeah.
One a year.
Well, I think what you do is you actually just go get yourself like an old PC and go, here's your 486. Here's
Your non-internet capable.
your non-internet capable
the
thing.
Com64s
But
just
the,
came out.
The trick is going to be, I reckon you can make it work as long as that's what you play as well.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, well, that's your
Daddy's
downfall.
going to be in his VR.
That's the problem.
Wow, this is amazing. Woo! I wish I had someone small to play with. But they say not until they're 10. Boo, boo. He looks at the box, says 6 and up. Wow. My future son. I'm sorry already. To him, not to make my life. I mean, maybe both. We'll find out. Let's be realistic about this. No one knows what's going to happen. So yes, Xbox One X. The form factor is quite different.
Weird.
It's basically like the size of a mid tower, but
It's a concrete block.
Concrete block. Yeah, it's a Bessa block standing
a
on its
Bessa
end, but
block.
you can do it on its side.
No handle.
No handle. They're never bringing the handles back. All the removable hard drives. They were great years. I think it looks fine. Airflow will be interesting
It's
because
serviceable.
yeah, because I think they really want to. They really like the idea of it standing vertically, but a lot of units aren't going to be able.
Yeah,
to
A lot
I
of
think-
people don't have the space to do
Yeah,
that.
I think there
So
are.
if it only comes out the ends, then that might be blasting directly into walls if it's as
Yeah.
long as you.
I mean, I think there are legitimate concerns over that thing fitting into existing.
Anything, yeah.
like
Because like even when you look at like form factors like the Wii and like the PlayStations that go vertical, they're at least thin,
Yeah,
so you can slot them
Into
into
something,
something.
yeah.
Whereas this thing's square.
it's a big block.
It's a big
Yeah.
block.
Yeah.
Finding somewhere to put it will be, could be interesting.
Yeah.
well, it could end up being on carpet, and then that's going to have all kinds of problems.
Yeah, I assume it has draw from the bottom as well. Assume. I have not seen where the fans are other than the big one at the top. But if it's on its side, it will be fine on carpet.
I don't know if I'm going to buy one because everything
true,
that's going to
yes.
come out is going to be on a PC anyway.
Yeah, my
So,
my
in fact,
yeah.
I'll have Game Pass as well.
Maybe.
So I probably won't even buy the game.
Maybe I'll build a new PC and pick a case that looks like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think Microsoft cares about that.
No, at this point they
Yeah,
don't.
No.
No.
Well, it's like even the Xbox One controllers work on the Xbox Series X.
That's good. Yeah.
So they're forward compatible hardware as well as backwards compatible, which for most manufacturers, other than a few times Nintendo's done it, has never happened before. And I think they said that the Series X controllers will work on the One.
Okay.
That'd
Well,
be
I mean,
pretty
if
good.
it's just the same standards,
It's pretty
then
much the
just
same.
back and
Yeah.
forth, yeah.
I think they've got a couple of extra features, but they just
Yeah.
don't work on them.
Well, I guess because also
It's
these
just
things have to
X input, right?
they got to run on PC as well, so
Yeah.
they're already
Yeah.
It's a standardized.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you're gonna have to tell a bunch of people playing on PC they got to go buy themselves a Series X controller
For
to
the
play
new
the new
games.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not gonna go down so well. No.
No, it's been pretty good. Okay, anything else to say about the sex at the moment? Okay, they also revealed their first game, and it was a slight surprise because it was a game I did not think would ever get a sequel, and it is Senuas Saga Hellblade 2. It was running in engine, not in game, in engine, which really can mean anything.
Yeah, yes.
But it looked very, very fucking
Yeah.
sexy. Ninja Theory certainly knows how to make things look pretty. Hellblade was like the prettiest, cheapest game ever
Yeah.
made. For a low budget game, that game was incredible with what they did.
I'm interested to see if this thing. I expect it's going to be bigger budget.
Yeah.
What do they? Because I think that the first one was like short and sweet.
Yes.
I don't know if this is going to be like a longer, more fleshed out thing.
Uh,
And if it is, I don't know if that's what I want out of it.
yeah. Well, it's like it's not what I want from Hellblade, but also Hellblade's sort of done and complete.
Yeah.
So I just kind of think this is going to marry a lot because they used to do Heavenly Sword and everything. So it's like maybe it's going to start getting just more God of War-y or something, and we're going to lose a little bit of that personal storytelling. It might just be more of a it's Saga now. I mean, it's a bigger thing. It might be going off worlds against worlds with other characters and stuff, not just you and a few voices in your head. I wonder if they'll have the same focus on mental illness as they did in the first one. I kind of hope that it's there, but they don't make it the focus again, because I thought because they announced at the beginning of that game, they go this is a game about mental illness, and we've worked with all these people. It's like, you sort of robbed it of its subversion because you advertised it at the
Should have
front.
just not put that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe now they can just more play the angle of there is a mental illness, but it's just sort of more in the background. Like it's more something which is.
I also don't know if this is
impacting.
pre or post the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that was the choice for
I think
the first next gen announcement, as it were.
I think the reason why it was the one that they showed was that it's very impressive and it's a sequel to a very critically loved game, but it's also not a series and developer that is huge.
That's true.
So the story isn't, oh my god, we looked at Halo Infinite, it's the Xbox X, and hey, we got to look at the first new game and it looked really cool. So it's sort of it doesn't pull focus from what that
that's
message
true,
for that
yeah.
was. And we'll definitely be seeing a lot more of that as the next year because it's coming out next year.
Yes.
We all know that. And they've given a basic
Holiday.
holiday, whatever that. I mean, where everyone knew it was coming anyway. We also then saw our first PS5 game. Very strange reveal. Godfall. It's a slasher looter.
Sluter.
Yeah.
Slatter.
Yeah, it was just like it was just like a cinematic.
There was a lot of that in
It
this.
is
a very pretty
A lot of
cinematic.
just cinematics.
Yeah. Just a very strange, and they're saying PS5 on it. It's also PC, but they're also like, oh, it's PS5.
PS5 and PC.
Very strange for their first official PS5 game to just be like, and it's this third-party developer that's
Yeah, because the actual reveal was just at the end. It was more
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm watching this thing.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's just a trailer
oh,
for
and
a
it's like-
cool-looking new game.
And it's like, oh, PS5. I'm like, oh, okay, that's your announcement.
Casually dropping it in there.
All right, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that one felt more like a game announcement than it did a
Yeah.
next gen
Yeah.
announcement.
Yeah, it's just
Like-
like this is. It's like PS5. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Right
cool.
up. And we brought a bone in, of course. Why haven't we? Which puppy's got it? Which puppy?
This one.
Of course, it's Dusty. What are we doing? Okay, let's just use through some quick hot takes. One of the most confusing series, Bravely Default 2, was announced. The third game in the Bravely Default trilogy. Why did they do that? Why did they call it
I
Bravely,
don't know.
Bravely Triple? Let's
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because
But what if we get Bravely Second too?
Oh God, no! That's totally possible. That's how these things happen. Oh, subtitled Jedi Knight. So that was real. Any comments about that? You're more into the Bravely
Not
than we
hugely,
are.
but
It exists, it
Going to be
looks
more
same-
of Bravely
yeah.
stuff.
It's on the Switch.
I'm sure it'll be a very good JRPG.
Telltale is officially back from the dead, and they
Where'd they get their money from?
well, they got bought. I can't remember who bought them. And they've sort of reformed what they could, but obviously a lot of the team had already
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
But they have now officially re-announced The Wolf Among Us 2, which I find a strange title for them to lead with.
Well, it's the fact that most of the people who would have been working on it are now obviously no longer working on it because they were canned.
Yeah, well, because I know a few people that were very excited about working on that
Yeah.
project, and the people I know are definitely on
It's
different
no
jobs
longer
now.
their project.
Yeah, because Wolf Among Us, potentially their most critically loved game. Probably my favorite. I really enjoyed it. Oh, let's kicking that bone around.
Right, I'll get it.
There we go. But also, was like all their games, not commercially successful. They can just go on the table, man. They can look at that antler. People in the video feed.
You get to look at the antler.
They've been chewing that antler for over a year. At
Christmas
this point.
antler.
And they're like, "Where's my fucking antler?
Yeah, now he's like, what's going on? Where's my antler?
Where'd it go?"
Is that
Yeah. It's like not probably, but also it was one of their least profitable, from what I understood. Partly because it's a license which is, whilst popular, niche popularity.
Because guess what else were they going to do? They're probably not going to get a Batman.
No, but it's also.
Oh, they could have done a Joker.
I thought one of the funniest ones was I had some take like, oh well, they did it because they don't have to pay a licensing fee because it's an original IP. It's like no, it's Fables, man. It's a thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy they're doing it. I hope it works out. They've lots of statements
Yeah,
about how
it'll
they've
be-
improved the
it'll be
culture and everything.
interesting.
But how are you going to make it profitable when it wasn't previously? Oh well, as long as I get a good game and people get paid.
Yep.
I don't care if the company
important
goes
part.
out. As long as no one's fucked over, I'm happy with getting a game that doesn't sell that much. Okay, they had a longer trailer of Ghost of Tsushima. And I mean, it's super, super technically impressive.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and I don't really have any other feelings.
It looked pretty.
It's coming out next year. It's definitely still PS4, which I was a lot
It's
of
a little surprising.
kind of. I mean, I'll definitely have a PS5 version. I'll eat my hat if it doesn't.
I was mildly confused at first because in my head I'd gotten the wires crossed between that and Sekiro. So in my head I'm like, don't we already have this? Oh wait, it's a different
No,
game.
different thing. Different thing.
I was like,
What else do we have there? Ruined King, a League of Legends story.
Oh yeah, there's a few League of Legends.
Yeah,
things.
Convergence,
quite
a
a few
League of
riot
Legends
things.
story.
Yeah.
Nothing
Riot's
to.
branching out.
One
Yeah.
of them had like at least they were both just cinematic, so I knew nothing about what any of the game was. One of them was 2D with a cool style. I was like, I guess it has that style, I would assume.
Yep.
But don't know anything about that. Did some Gears
So
Tactics.
a Riot on the
Oh.
way to being the new Blizzard.
I think they're trying to
definitely
be.
trying-
Yes,
trying to
they're
pick
trying
up
to
that-
branch out, trying to
Yeah.
hit all the top genres.
It'll be
They're-
interesting.
They
to
are, and they are doing it in a way that they're like their League of Legends stories,
Yeah.
like their games in that universe that they've. I don't know.
League is so
what that
weird to
is,
me
but-
because it is one of the biggest IPs of all time. Yet it doesn't seem to intersect with anything outside of the community, which is giant.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't need
huge.
to because it's
It doesn't need
just
to.
so big.
yeah. So it's like because these games end up being some of the biggest
almost like-
games of the year,
it's
and then
almost
like
like the-
at the end of the year, like when the top 10 lists are up, nobody even mentions
Yeah.
them because
Well, it's like you know how like GTA 5 online, it'd still just be raking in.
Yeah, it's still
all,
chugging
all
along,
the money,
pulling all
just
the
because
money.
it's just so big, but it's like it's so insular as well.
it's a
It's
little
like,
bubble.
It's its own, yeah.
Little GTA
Yeah.
bubble.
this Gears Tactics. I don't remember.
Oh, Gears Tactics was an interesting one.
We didn't find anything new, did we?
No, but it was cool.
The fact
It's coming to
See it.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
They mentioned it after
It's-
it not being anywhere at E3.
Yeah. It's been a little bit missing in action for a little while. They decided to focus on Gears Pop.
Yeah, it's the more important game.
We'll talk about that next time with our Game of the Year awards.
Game of the Gear Awards.
Gears of the Year.
Does anyone remember what Humankind is? It's been a few days since I wrote this list.
No, I don't actually.
Thanks for making a strong impression, Humankind. They had another trailer for Maneater, which is that shark game. Warframe expansion. Control expansion, and it's out.
Yeah, the Expeditions
Yes,
one?
that's the one.
Yeah, it almost turns into like almost like a roguelike, doesn't it? Like it's randomly generated. I think it's something like
I
that.
know. I still need to finish Control.
You do need to finish
We were doing
Control.
our game club, and then we fucked up a record, and then we never did it again. And then you finished the game, and I'm like, but I'm dedicated.
Where's my club
I'm
gone?
Like, it reached a point where
I made a
thought-
promise.
I reached a point where I was like,
I made a promise to no one,
That-
and I have to keep it, James.
that we're probably not going to do it, and I wanted to see how it ended. And you're close.
James, I'm very dedicated
Then finish it, and then we can talk about
to
it.
the game club. I made a promise.
A one-person club.
Yeah. So I promised the coin I would. Then, of course, PlayerUnknown presents a forest. Yes. And in that forest, there is trees and weather. And not a lot else.
And go sign up here.
Prologue announced. This is Brendan. God, what's his last name? I was about to call him Brendan Smalls, and then I go, no, that's the Metalocalypse guy.
Just call him PlayerUnknown.
Yeah, PlayerUnknown's
Brendan Biggs.
spit off. God, now I feel like I fucked up Brendan's name as well. Metalocalypse. I don't know who anyone. There's some Brendans that exist. Yeah, new game. It's called Prologue. I am going to take the wild assumption that this is based in the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds universe.
You'd be wrong.
Oh,
really?
it's not?
It's called Prologue, and it is not a prologue.
The fuck?
It's just
When
its
did
own
this come
thing.
out?
I remember. I remember seeing about it like soon after the game.
I mean, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I didn't go on a
Yeah.
deep dive on this or anything.
I don't vouch for me on it being 100%
Oh, no,
true
you said it.
source.
Yeah.
But
the internet will hold you to task.
I definitely have
like they do
read
all the
that
things
it
we
is,
say, which are always 100%
in fact, not in their Battlegrounds thing.
weird.
Yeah. But they've called it Prologue.
I mean, it's a prologue to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's basically it's different each time you play it. It's a technology focused. They're gonna blow our minds with something, but it tells what it is. So who knows? We've got Surgeon Simulator 2. What a trailer! Oh, no one else has talked
I
about
think I
this,
missed
but I
that.
felt really excited about it. All I can take from it is that there are multiple surgeons working on that body, which means a
multiplayer.
multiplayer focus. Which I mean, what else are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Here's the only
just a
change you
tool.
can make.
It's like, well, we've ported it to everything that exists. I guess a new one. We got. I skipped it because it's me, but I should still say because it's big. Magic: The Gathering Legends MMO.
Yeah, there's that free-to-play MMO
Free-to-play
coming,
MMO in the Magic
and
World.
I believe it's still going to have some kind of deck building of some kind in there. Like
No
it might
idea.
be like
I
abilities
thought the
or something.
cinematic looked quite pretty.
Yeah, it's not a lot of detail.
I will be interested to see what they do, purely because
Oh, hello,
is
puppy.
it Ravnica? Do you know if it's
I don't know much
the
about the
world?
world. I know there's a lot of lore around that world.
because they have
I know
built
none of it.
a huge amount of lore
Yeah.
now around it.
Can I play
all of-
lands?
All of the releases have been like building storylines. They did their tie-in with Wizards, so it's a setting for D&D.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of lore going on, so they've got a lot to work with for an MMO.
Yeah.
But whether it's
But-
any good,
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll
Like if it's, I'm expecting it to be a little bit gacha-ish.
probably.
Yeah. Also, there was New World was the other kind of MMO thing that got a little bit of.
Those words are written on my.
They are
sheet.
written on there.
And
Which
my eyes glaze over
Yeah,
them with
yeah.
no recollection of what exists.
which is it's sort of, I believe it started off as like a survival game, and then slowly morphed into being a bit more of an MMO. It looks actually, I think this is Amazon's first thing.
Yes,
I
it
believe
is.
it's
Yes, it
Amazon's
is.
first
It's the old-
project.
it's the project they had a few
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. Hey,
So
it's like pivoted slightly.
so it's you can definitely see all of its survivalist roots in there, but they've been trying to add in more stuff for PvE and it sounds like there's a bunch of stuff for territory control. It seems like it's going to be almost more like probably Eve in its structure, where it'll be kind of fairly player driven. How it all goes. I don't know if it'll be my kind of thing because it's going to be such a heavy PvP focus and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an MMO where you
There's
have
only
to play
so
with.
much PvP you can take. Hey?
I don't like MMOs where I have to actually play with other people.
I've got that problem.
Yeah, I just want to play near people.
Yeah. I want to be in the server environment.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to interact with anyone.
I want to be able to hit a button and play with people sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Like
most of the time,
dungeon queue.
Yeah, I hate the dungeon queue
And
button.
then not talk to any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I play WoW. Yeah.
I'm forgetting what a few of these other games are. It's all right.
Yeah.
Also, Dark Alliance is back, but it's not.
Oh,
it's not Baldur's Gate now.
Yeah.
It's
No.
just D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that trailer.
That was the weirdest trailer I've ever seen.
Yeah, they did
for a
the
game.
thing where they
It's,
anchored the camera
yeah.
to the face.
Fantasy GoPro.
Yeah.
We call it Drunk Cam.
Drunk cam. Yeah, I
It
hated
was
it.
attached to the swords and stuff.
I hated the trailer so much.
And,
I hated every moment of it.
as a
But it's just like Sir Digby Chicken Caesar. You should love it.
I don't know Sir Digby Chicken Caesar.
You know what you're doing after this show.
as someone with some investment in that world, personally, Drizzt has never looked stupider.
Well, it didn't look
was
good.
so
like,
bad.
The character design didn't look good. The way they filmed it didn't look good.
And it's an ARPG, right? Like it's a hack
Well,
and
that's what
slash.
that's what in the original
it's
one
a sequel
was.
to the original.
Yeah. Like I don't.
And like one of the big statements like made across it is like the sequel Baldur's Gate needed. It's like, well, no,
you were getting that.
That's Baldur's Gate 3,
and it's being
That's
done by a
the
very
sequel
competent company. So.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But there's squid faces in it.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, you didn't correct me. You're learning not to take the bait.
The mind flayers. Paul.
Fabulous. Okay, so they showed off a bunch of stuff, but there were also some awards given out. And there were 3 main winners. So the Game of the Year went to Sekiro, which was kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
It seemed a little hardcore to give, but also I'm fine with it.
Yeah, when it happened, I was like, yes.
Yep.
I have no
It's a-
problem with that choice.
It's a well-designed hardcore game.
It wasn't like when Gone Home got it, and I was a little bit mad.
Did Gone Home win it?
Yeah, a few years back.
Oh.
It took out Game of the Year. Mm.
I mean, I can see Gone Home winning some awards.
Oh
but
yeah,
it's-
for 100% winning some awards, but
Not Game of the Year.
not Game of the Year.
Yeah, so I believe Sekiro won 3 awards. I don't have them all off the top of my head. The other game that I believe won 3 awards was Death
Yeah,
Stranding.
cleaned up a bunch, and it got I think music.
That's good.
Mads won for performance.
Mads won for performance, and I think they got studio or production of the year.
Yeah,
and like that, I thought was the most appropriate award they could have given it.
Definitely.
We should probably actually do you want to take a moment now before we move on to the third game because you finished Death Stranding?
Oh
haven't
yeah,
you?
I have finished.
Do you
Death
want to
Stranding.
give some
What were your
some
thoughts?
later impressions, just spoiler free?
Yeah. So it definitely reaches a point in that game where you can just finish it when you want to.
Yes.
Because have you finished it?
I have experienced the finish.
Yeah,
I haven't actually
yeah.
played it myself, but
Yeah.
I've experienced enough of it.
And it's
the ending.
experiencing it is probably a good way to describe it because when it does sort of decide it's going to wrap itself up,
Yeah.
it's really just put on your
It
seatbelt.
rapid fires.
Yeah, and just just kind of run with it, because there will be massively long cutscenes and like
It's definitely a thing where like 15 chapters and the last 5 of them are just one after another.
yeah
Cutscene, tiny bit of gameplay, cutscene, tiny bit of gameplay.
In a Kojima game.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so shocking.
I know that there wasn't any branching in any of this, and I think I probably kind of wish I'd known that a little bit earlier. Or I don't know.
So were you expecting that sort of thing?
No, well, I wasn't really expecting anything.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, the way it kind of presented itself, it felt like there could have been branching. Particularly, one moment feels like a choice.
There are a lot of spots that felt like they could have been options, but weren't.
Yeah, and I don't mind that it didn't. But it's just more, it felt a bit strange in some points where, you feel like you're giving me an option. But
Not really.
I'm not giving you an option. The story definitely goes full Kojima. I had to read synopsises when I was done. Like I had like thematically, I really
You understood
liked,
kind of what was going on.
Yeah, it was
but
more there was some stuff I didn't quite
to dig down a
understand,
bit.
and then I read it and like, oh okay, that kind of makes sense. Though thematically, I loved it. Like just how being broadly about kind of death. I think it deals with it. If it's the kind of game that gives me an existential crisis, and it did, then I think it's achieved what it was trying to do. I'm very happy with how it concluded. It's
And for a Kojima game, it does actually
Has an
conclude.
Yes.
Like it has an ending that has wrapped things up.
Things are wrapped.
Yeah.
It is surprising to me how well that project came together.
Yeah.
I expected nothing for so long.
Yeah.
And then I was very pleasantly surprised.
I think-
Even though I do like making fun of it.
Yeah.
It's also a very good game.
Yeah. I guess it's hard to talk about without kind of
Without
giving
spoiling,
spoilers. But it wraps up in a way, I think, in multiple ways that feel very satisfying. Particularly like the first ending.
How many endings are there?
I think there's like 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
The credits roll a few times.
That's quite conservative. Oh yeah, don't they have full credits a few times?
Yeah.
I did hear that.
There's full credits, and then there's another
fucking
hour of
Kojima.
gameplay.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of like it does that a bit. But I think each of the things actually does it actually a nice conclusion. So I really enjoyed it. I'd say I enjoyed that thing all the way through. I have still gone back to it and kind of played a little bit more of it because it's a bit like Elite Dangerous, where I like just
go do a couple of deliveries.
Me walking from A to B is just very relaxing, and I'm just happy to do it.
Without spoilers, have you delivered all the pizzas?
No.
Please do.
No, I haven't.
Do all the pizzas.
But I probably will keep going back to it because I do just genuinely find it this kind of zen, relaxing experience.
And apparently people are wearing Santa hats at the moment.
Yes, I have to go load it up.
Which I just said as a joke.
Yeah. I'll definitely load it up on my birthday because I'm sure something's going to happen on my birthday. Yeah.
Just insults you.
Yeah.
James, he knows my name. You suck.
Oh,
Peter Molyneux, you got into everything. Okay, which brings us to the third big winner of the Game Awards, which was the winner of 4 awards, so the biggest winner of the night, Disco Elysium.
Yes.
Which has been the slow building juggernaut of the year. It is now taking out Game of the Year awards left and right.
Yeah.
It is the first game by a small independent team. It is a bold RPG.
I'm going to call it the best CRPG since Planescape Torment.
And we 3 have all been playing it.
Yes.
We 3
And I will agree with
boys
that too.
from Brisbane, Australia are playing Disco
Yeah.
Elysium
I
before
think,
getting in the car.
I think that Pillars of Eternity and Tyranny and Planescape Torment, whatever, or Numenera, after having played Elysium, have all failed in their purpose because Elysium has come in and given me actually what I want. I'm like, thank you.
I don't think they've failed in their purpose. They've succeeded in creating a traditional CRPG.
They've very much done the job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is
Disco Elysium has built the factory the jobs are in.
Because I've enjoyed a computer RPG here and there, but I've never loved the genre. And there's always outlets like your Torments and stuff like that. But this is so much closer to what I want it to be. And in fact, the parts I criticize most are areas where it's more of a game. So, to jump into it, Disco Elysium, it does one thing I also love in RPGs. It's not you could be anyone you want to be. It's no, you play this motherfucker. It's like, what choice? I can play any way I want. No, you can only play within the realm of what this guy can be.
But where the beautiful part is that is right for the character, but less so the player agency. Because the player's agency is rather disconnected from the character itself.
It's truly wonderful. So it's hard to quantify. So it is very mechanical. It shows you dice rolls. It shows you when checks are happening and everything. But somehow in doing that, it's the least important it's ever been in a game to me.
Well, I guess like the 2 things that I see that have made this work for me. First off, nixing the combat. Like just nixing the turn-based, complex combat.
Like you do have the ability to fight people in the game, but those are just merely checks. It's like, you got this chance to do here, and
there's no actual combat.
Yeah. So the nice thing about that is now suddenly every decision I make is equally meaningful. Yes. Like suddenly my charisma stat or whatever like
every stat matters.
Every
in
stat
this game.
matters equally.
Yeah.
That I was gonna say second thing, but it'll come to me. That's the first thing I really
very quickly. How would you summarize he's a detective? The detective you are playing.
A passenger. That is trying his best to understand the world, but there is a fight between like trying to reason the world and just trying to feel the world.
Because you've balanced. You sort of made your own character, didn't you?
Yeah, so I wrote my character.
You put points into logic
and
Inland
Empire. Now
which is basically like your ability to be in touch with the world around you.
Yeah, so one is like very touchy-feely, just like everything based off gut.
Yeah.
The other one is logically trying to understand the world. And having both those too high means that an event might happen and I'll get 2 different opinions. Because each in this game, your stats are kind of characters.
They're like personified.
Yeah,
almost,
so your stats are personified. So they'll talk to you.
They'll second guess the decision you made. They'll taunt you.
So for me, it's like I'm trying to be. It's like I've got 2 shoulder angels basically with kind of different motivations, and just trying to understand things, trying to get through it.
What about you, Sam?
My detective, as it were, the hobo cop,
Yeah.
the hobo sorry cop, is a down on his luck guy who thinks he's very good at talking to people and is incredibly apologetic when he's definitely not very good at talking to people.
Are either of you superstars?
No.
No.
I'm a superstar.
You are a superstar cop?
Oh, I'm a superstar. And
Attempts are being made.
I'm very heavily invested in Inland Empire. I'm very touchy-feeling. I love the way Inland Empire works, where it's other than just you like getting a sense about things. Sometimes the game just stops and it tells you a scene that's happening somewhere else in the world, and I love that as a thing, because like if you like focus on logic and encyclopedia and stuff like that and knowledge, basically, there's fuckloads of lore in this game.
Yeah, you get a lot of fact,
and I don't care about the lore. I care about the feeling of the world around. And that's great for someone like me, because I can focus on that. Also, I take any drugs that come my way. And it's so weird. So my drug stat is quite high. And one of the things that this is a sort of an example of the sort of things that can happen in the game. If you are aware of drugs, you're also aware of the effects when someone around you is on drugs. Yeah. You're fucking on something, motherfucker. And, and then you can bring that naturally into conversation. Like, this is a check. Yep.
Yeah.
You've noticed they're on fucking drugs. You can now ask them where they scored or about them running. And I'm talking to this guy about it, and he's on this drug. And I sort of like, not quite accuse him, but like confront him about it. And instead of being like a funny drug dealing scene or something, because the game is very funny.
Yes. Yeah.
He's basically a veteran in post-traumatic stress, and it's a really like touching like conversation and everything about like dependency and trying to struggle and getting through it. And this stuff just intertwines naturally all the time, and I have no idea what I'm missing out on, because you don't see all the other checks in the background of the things you don't have. You just see your experience.
Yeah.
And it makes it just feel so natural.
I feel like there's
everything.
this nice mix of like opt-in checks and just automatic checks.
Yeah.
And so it does feel like I'm getting these dogs. It does feel like
doing?
Yeah, I don't know. It does feel like I'm getting a very I guess personalized experience.
I think the way it's set up, coming from someone who runs a lot of tabletop games too.
Enough, boys.
Oi, Dusty, toast.
Enough.
Settle down.
It's like coming from that mindset of like understanding a lot of the mechanics and frameworks behind how tabletop games run. The checks is effectively like all the automatic ones. They're just checks that they're giving you information, whether it's in-game facts, whether it's stuff that's happening in the world, just thoughts, things your character notices. Because
the kind of character
it's
you're
all
building that they're allowed to.
information based around what skills your character has. The opt-in checks are the ones that can have a consequence.
Yeah. And there's two types of checks.
Yeah, there's the white ones which are repeatable, and the red ones which are you do it once. If you fail, it's failed.
Yeah.
And the only way to get back is to save scum, and none of us.
But this game is not about save scumming.
No.
This is a game about you run with that. You with
take
whatever happens.
what happens.
Often failure is just as interesting as success in this game. Especially critical failure.
And that's one of the big tenets of tabletop role playing too. And to see a game like this actually pull that in properly and just go run with it.
So spoiler time. Please, everyone, share a... because I don't know about yours, but I know at least ours, and it's pretty spoiler-free. The first time you died in the game.
So the first time I died, I was investigating a gym, an old abandoned gym, and there was a dumbbell on the ground that looked quite unsafe to use. Logic told me that it was unsafe because things went fastened.
I don't know if... well, at least when I looked at it, I think they just said it was very heavy and you were not strong.
Yeah. It's like, I was told it was unsafe. And so I had the choice to try and lift it anyway. And my character being a little bit insecure, he likes to overcompensate. So it's like, it's a challenge. So I try to pick it up and then take damage. I'm like, I'm on 1 health. And I was also I had very low morale.
Yeah, so you got physical health and you got morale.
Yeah, so you got kind of 2 health stats. And so then after that, I was dealing with the consequence of being hurt. And that's where I started talking myself into depression. And so I basically felt very bad about not being able to do it, and then said, fuck you, dumbbell, took a point of morale damage, gave up on life. And then the newspaper pops up saying, cop gives up.
I tried to punch a kid in the face. I missed. I fell to the ground and died of embarrassment.
So that was also morale damage?
Yes.
So-
That was morale damage. I went down. And-
Mine's also morale.
Yes.
I tried to shoot a corpse down from a tree.
Yes. It did go
Missed
well.
twice. A kid had to go at me for missing. I tried very, very, very hard to cry. Couldn't cry.
The fact that sometimes just choosing to cry is a very good way forward in this game.
I was like, try to cry, and the whatever stat it was like, there's no tears coming out. It's like, try really hard anyway. So I did, and the kid just kept yelling insults at me for not being able to cry, and there was my morale damage.
So the game world is quite small, but very dense with a lot of characters in it, and all the characters are very well written, have their own things.
Have you got the ability to rummage through garbage yet?
No.
So one of the things, as because I'm also going Hobocop, you can find a plastic bag, which you can equip.
Yeah.
Which gives you the ability to rummage through garbage and get more money.
Oh, this is just picking up the bottles?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you have to actually equip.
I've always had my plastic bag in one hand. I'm always picking up spare bottles for spare change.
You are a true
The
Hobocop.
starstruck Hobocop.
Look, at the moment, I generally walk
Superstar.
around with yellow gardening gloves on, a mesh tank top, I can't take the tie off. I love the tie so much. My awful tie on. I have to switch between my shoes because I'm trying to hide my shoes at the moment. But, oh man, even the fact, so you wake up and at the beginning of the game, you don't know who you are, you're in shambles and everything, and only one of your shoes is in the
find
room.
one shoe.
And if you do not go and find the other shoe, you're just spending most of the game walking around with one shoe.
Yep. Have you sung karaoke yet?
No, I haven't.
No, because
I've threatened to.
Yeah, because this is where my Inland Empire comes in.
Yeah.
Because I go downstairs and it's a karaoke bar, and Inland Empire basically says, "Oh yeah, you got to do this."
Oh yeah.
So
I'm
then,
a superstar now.
then I get the
I'm
quest
ready.
of like
Yeah.
sing
Sing
karaoke,
karaoke.
but I need to have a sad
What
song.
a good quest.
I can't sing it, so I need to go find a sad song somewhere. And I've told the guy behind the bar that I'm coming back to sing karaoke.
As soon as you
I've
find the
threatened
song.
it, yeah. Well, and this is a point that I did not experience this, but I've been told it, and I believe it's true. So when you're because you're investigating a murder that's happened behind where you are, someone's been hung, and you're talking to your partner, and you say, and they're talking about the case, and is it a mysterious case? It's like, no, not really. Someone's just killed this guy. It's probably a union issue. And then you can continue that area of questioning and say, but is it a sexy case? And if you push that, you'll get a quest for the rest of the game to prove that the case is sexy. I have not done that myself. I've only heard about that, but I believe it.
Oh, it 100% fits in this game.
What I kind of like about the game is that we have been saying a bit of content here, more than we normally would, because when you haven't played the game, this is all fucking nonsense.
It just doesn't matter.
It's kind of weird. Like everything is of consequence in this game. Everything feels like, because I've been on the record before that I think choice in games is bullshit. I think it's I like it, but I think when people complain about like, oh, it didn't really mean anything, I'm like, yeah, because it's about what you're doing. It's not about the end. They can't fucking animate 100 different endings. Like it's just a reality of storytelling. Like you can sort of branch out and come back in, and it's about your experience, but you can't expect them to react to every choice you make. And this game seems like it reacts to every choice I make.
There's enough writing there.
Yeah, just so much, and I'd love to see some of those fucking spreadsheets and diagrams to make all this stuff line up. I assume the actual story is going to be relatively
Fairly
straightforward to a degree, but your experience through it.
The way you see that story is going to be very different.
I get very excited just thinking about it, like what happened. Oh man, some of those critical failures have been very funny, and like. Every once in a while, it's a white check. I'll just take a fucking gamble. Yeah. And I was like,
31%, sure.
Yeah, I've just got to get double sixes for this. Bah. It could happen.
Have you got rid of your shit-eating grin yet?
Yeah, I got rid of my shit-eating
Have
grin.
you still got your shit-eating
I've
grin?
kept it.
I've got my shit-eating grin.
Yeah,
I like it.
Disco Elysium
Fits my character.
It's the eyes as well.
Yeah, it really makes
the pain in the eyes.
Yeah, they call it the look.
Yeah,
you got the look. You can try and get rid of the look. It is. I visually, I really like the style.
Yep.
It's very painterly.
Yeah.
It just works very neatly and cleanly, and
I laugh. I laugh all the time at it.
I laugh, and it's very political.
I have an explicable feminist agenda that I got just randomly
Yeah.
because I was in a conversation and I decided, just because it was there, I'm gonna play the feminist card, and then it's
then
like now suddenly I've got this thing I can internalize where I get like bonuses against arguing with men.
That's the other system I really like. Actually.
Oh, the
internalizing thoughts.
Yeah.
Where you unlock things to think about, and then
it's kind of like
time that it takes
in the most direct way.
It's
like you can get like someone else's philosophy and subscribe to it and internalize it, and then that affects
pick from a list.
Yeah, it's like I
and
will
it gives
be.
you
It's
pluses
like
or minuses to stats.
it's like what you equip. You got like this big grid of like these are my agendas that I'm going to internalize.
Because you get XP and you can invest in your skills, and I found myself hours into the game and I had not upgraded a single thing. I'm like, oh, I can do this. What do I need to? And then I realized that you can use also XP lets you internalize more things. I'm like, no, I don't care about my skills. What I want
internalize everything.
Yeah.
more things in my brain. Come on, I can't remember. So I've got some good ones. I think one of them is like get your shit together or something. Yeah, it's like I've got my shit together all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's just one of the basic. I think it's one of like
I think it's a tutorial one. It's like get your shit together. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough for me. Like, getting my shit together didn't help.
It is a game I love thinking about. It's a game I look forward to trying to play differently.
We've probably been talking.
I'm definitely going to give it another. When I get through it, it's going to get a playthrough again.
I think we've been talking about this now for probably about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering how much anyone understands about
what the game is.
About what the game is.
It's a fixed perspective isometric CRPG where you walk around talking to people trying to solve a crime.
That's it.
Yeah. And sometimes other crimes that have nothing to do with. And your partner is like, "Why are you doing this?" I just got a feeling.
We're assigned to this one crime.
And you are a complete loser.
Oh, there was like one point where I got into a place before I was meant to, because I just figured out a way in.
Oh, I mean, that just seems to be you're just living the Hobocop life at that point.
And my partner turns to me and it's like, asks what we're doing, and it's no, my character asked my partner like, what are we doing? And he's like, oh, I thought that we were going to do X. I'm like, oh, no, I just was exploring, but now I know what to do.
Yeah,
there's a box
he kind of
here
exists there as a way to point you in the direction the game wants you to take.
I really want to, because one of the things people early complained about, and I don't really understand the complaints, because there are strong racist characters in the game, and as I say, you can adhere to their philosophies, and you yourself can be racist, and your partner is of another racial background than you in the game, because it's all
like
not
otherworldly.
It's very, very Earth-like, but I do want to know if I subscribe to a racist ideology against my partner. What happens there? Because I mean, he stands up for himself pretty well, and that's what I like. It's like, yes, they present you with these ideologies, but you have the counter argument right there, and probably the most noble character in the goddamn game. So it's not like it's preaching racism to you. I mean, it's literally preaching racism to you, but it's not like saying racism good. It's, those people are pretty shit people on the whole. And also just, sometimes their philosophy doesn't make any sense, and you can go up against them on that and say, you sure you believe in this? And then they tell you to shut up. It's great.
Take morale damage.
Yeah.
Or in my case, apologize.
I very, very excited. What I really, really hope is that this game changes nothing at the studio other than the fact that they will be secure from sales to make games for the next 15 to 20 years. And the next game just the same size, doing its own thing. It's like, nah, you don't want it bigger. We don't want a space opera going from place to place. I mean, maybe a space opera on a very small base
on a space station or something.
Yeah, the scale is fantastic. I really, especially you just think about the depth of. If I play a totally different build, this will be a totally different game.
Well, I think all of our experiences have been pretty different.
Yeah, which is great fun. And then I would just say things out to my wife, and she'd just say, "What the fuck are you playing?" Yeah, it's good. It's real good. We're playing pull under here now. Just don't pull on the cables, little boy. Okay, let us move on. So, in very, very brief news, there has been a new accessory announced for the PS4.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's
stupid,
the weirdest
but
announcement
it's
I've ever
fine.
seen.
It's weirdly expensive for what it is.
I didn't actually quite get what it was.
So it is
buttons.
the extra. It's it's a little attachment that snaps on the bottom of your PS4 controller. It's official by Sony, which is why we're mentioning it. And it puts paddles on the back, which can be customized to replicate any other button on the PS4.
Okay.
To be able to do this, it also has an LCD screen on it, which lets you know what buttons you've programmed it for.
Also on the back.
Also on the it's on the back.
sounds
Even though there is space for it on the front to have the screen on the front.
sounds needlessly expensive.
Yeah, it was $30 US.
No, I mean putting the screen in.
Putting a
sounds
screen in.
needlessly
Yeah.
expensive.
Just to show you what buttons are.
When you
So,
think-
it's got 3 profiles, so you know which profile you're on, but you have to look at the back of the controller anyway.
To see what the profile
So-
you're on. Yeah.
Okay.
So what-
Can
what
I just
is-
hit the home button and change it
What I'm anticipating.
rather than turning around the controller?
What I'm anticipating, so it's been pretty heavily indicated that the PS5 controller will have a screen on it. VMU's finally coming back. And I bet it has flappy paddles at the back.
Yeah.
And this will mean that it's like parity. I bet that's why it exists. Or they just are crazy.
Yeah.
Could be either one. Okay. Let's talk about... I'm going to do a real quick one. The Talos Principle came out on the Switch. Now, I played the Talos Principle when it first came
same.
out 17 years ago.
Maybe not that long ago.
Yeah,
I
let's
have
say
played
4 years,
4 or
5 years.
5,
I
yeah.
have played some of it. I haven't finished it.
I definitely 100%ed it.
So this one was given to me by code and it was because it was actually was it announced Game Awards? It was announced at some stream.
I mean, how
it might
is
have been
it-
on the Nintendo
It
stream.
was just the Ninja.
How
Oh god,
is
did I
it-
even list the Nintendo stream? I did. Oh god, that's another list of
So
games.
much.
Fuck, it was
We
announced
haven't
on
recorded
Nintendo
for a
Indie
while.
stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is it playing? Because this would be like playing Portal again, wouldn't it? Like,
Well,
is it?
yeah, except there's no Twitch at all in Talos. It's mainly about just
I mean, like
guess
the puzzles. Like you've already done all the puzzles.
You hit a puzzle and
Yeah,
your brain
but-
goes, wait, I remember this.
literally 5 years ago. Like I don't really remember
Okay,
much of
yeah.
specific puzzles. No. So it's
I think the
first
type
person.
of puzzles they are, too, don't really
Yeah, they're not.
give that.
No,
Like, it's hard to
and there's a
remember a
lot of
solution.
puzzles in the game. Like there's way more puzzles in Talos than there are in Portal. So anyway, it's 3D first-person game. You're basically exploring this island space, and you're solving puzzles and getting through it. So what I was mainly interested in is how it plays on the Switch. So starts up, looks pretty decent, runs maybe a little sub 30, but it's like a puzzle game, doesn't really matter. I'm moving around going, this is fine, this is good. I was at work at the time, I took the Switch home, started playing it, going like, you know what, this is just being that little bit sub. I get a little bit motion sick in games, like, I don't really feel great about this. I just gotta go into the options for a second. Oh, just turn down the graphics and have high performance mode. Great. That's great. You motion sick, you can change all the head bob. You can go third person if you want. Great.
Oh, okay, third person.
Different color filters for color blindness, but also just for looks. Okay, that's all. This is all PC shit.
It's a direct port.
Yeah, it's just like I tuned it to run how I wanted it to, and other than that, it's pretty much a perfect port. I'm like, well, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you. I don't. And
Bonus.
the visual degrade of putting it onto performance, other than visual quality, is
Doesn't
barely
matter.
known. It doesn't matter. That
As long
game
as you
is
can see
not-
the lasers.
Yeah, it's just about pointing lasers at other things. So really good port if you want to have a pretty solid puzzle game. It's not a witness level.
No.
But it is a solid puzzle game if you like
wonder
sort
if
of
we'll get
exploring.
Witness
I
things.
suddenly got
Switch.
stumped on some of those.
Yeah.
I mean, it's come to mobile.
Yeah.
Like, why hasn't it come to Switch?
He was doing something else.
Yeah, what is he doing?
He's working on his new game, which in prototype form looked uninteresting. Except I said the exact same thing about
Yeah.
Witness all the way up to
Oh yeah,
release.
like at this point, I trust him. I trust Jonathan Blow at this point.
Yeah. Jonathan Blow he's done two things and they're both very good.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Let us discuss. Hey James, how about you take the forefront and tell me about
talk
Phoenix
about
Point?
Phoenix Point. So Phoenix Point came out. It's the XCOM successor, spiritual successor, really, because it's from the original designer of XCOM 1 and 2. And it came to Game Pass, which was great.
Yes, I have downloaded it, but I haven't hit the
Yeah.
launch button.
Yeah, it came a little bit longer to come out because there was some fuck up with waiting for approval or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
they dropped the ball basically. It wasn't Microsoft's fault, but it's out now on Game Pass, on PC Game Pass. You can pick it up. So I have played now probably about 4 or 5 hours of it.
Yep.
And so it's been interesting to compare it to new XCOM.
Yeah.
Because it is just doing a lot of XCOM. It is
And
being
you
XCOM.
you were into XCOM 2, weren't you?
Yeah, 1 and 2. I never finished either of them, but I've put quite a lot of time into both of them. So I do like this the kind of genre. So the differences between it mechanically, Not hugely different. Probably the biggest thing is location damage is a big thing. So it's like, you can choose to kind of shoot someone's arm and it's going to have
Even
some
more
effect.
percentages.
Yeah, it's a lot like VATS. Like Fallout's VATS is pretty much what it is. I haven't got far enough through it that I know that eventually they will start adapting to what you do. So if you have a particular strategy, they'll start countering it.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest difference. Apart from that, mechanically, there's cover, half cover, full cover. The point system is a little bit different. Like you can actually spend part of points. So it'll be like moving. It's like moving doesn't use a whole point. Distance will slowly consume it. But then like an action will take a point or 1 point, 2 points, whatever. So it actually works out pretty well. So you've got it's very simple to understand that if I want to shoot someone with a gun, it's going to cost me 2 points. If I want to reload, it'll cost 1. But if I want to look around a corner, I can kind of look around a corner. Then move back a little bit. It's not like you get fine control.
A little bit to play with.
Yeah, so like for the actual motion itself, you got a bit more control. Like
so
you can
not like a single action as a point.
So I guess as a point, you could like duck out, shoot someone, duck in, because you're not like it's like not a whole point to move. So that I've liked as well. The structure of it feels. Because it's still got the geoscape. It's got like that kind of thing that XCOM's got, where you have to slowly explore the geoscape. You've got a ship that you're flying around to go to different points. You discover like basically points of interest, and so I remember from like XCOM, a lot of it is like you're kind of waiting for stuff. Like I'll wait for an alert, and then I go check it out. Well, this is a bit more. You do a scan, a whole bunch of things appear. Yeah, so and it's like, I'll check out this one.
A bit more proactive.
I'll check out this one. I'll check out this one, yeah. And the things are like, probably like about half of them are actually combat. Oh, hello, puppy. Where the other things are events, where it'll be like, do you want to explore this thing? Oh, you might have got some food, or you might take some morale damage because something went wrong, or nothing might be there. So this stuff, I think, is like only kind of small variants from.
Do you know what it is, like what type it is before you do it? Or is it?
No, it's just a question mark.
There's a question mark.
Yeah,
it could be combat.
Yeah.
It could be loot.
Yeah.
It could be.
And I like that not everything
playing
is
a little bit on the risk factor.
Yeah, I like
good.
that not everything is a mission.
Yeah.
And there are some missions that they're called special missions, and I think they're more the plot missions. Some of them will just be like, I'll go salvage.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I'll get here, get some resources, and that's cool. So it feels almost like a bit less story driven and more. Here's a bunch of stuff going on. Just explore and do shit.
Do you feel like you can get screwed over?
Not yet, though I feel like that can happen.
I mean, it would be not an XCOM.
Yeah, so where I feel like it differentiates itself more, thematically, I really like it, because they've moved away from it being aliens to it being something. I actually don't really. It might be aliens. I actually
aliens.
I don't know. It's because I think one of the things with original XCOM, like XCOM 1, XCOM 2, there was this air of like I don't really understand. Like even like Terror from the Deep was getting a bit more Lovecraftian with what was going on, and this one feels like, I actually don't really know what is the bad is. There is something there which maybe Elder God, maybe extraterrestrial, maybe made by someone. No idea. And I appreciate that. The visuals actually remind me a lot of like maybe Fallout 1 and 2. And the audio does as well, like because it's all post-apocalyptic. Like it's like a big event's happened, whole world's fucked. You are now like effectively the XCOM, which was fell into disrepair. You're Phoenix, whatever you're called. I don't know if you called Phoenix Point or you just called Phoenix. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. But because like it's post-apocalyptic, there's also some interesting factional stuff. Where it's like the humans that have survived have like fallen off into like these like really unique factions. So there'll be one which is like they want to embrace change, the one that want to kind of revert, and I think there's like another. I don't know, purity. It's like basically different ideologies.
Yeah.
And you can pick.
You can internalize them.
Yeah. You can pick who you want to ally with. And they all have like very different visual styles as well. So if you're helping out like one faction, it'll look very unique to their style. Like humans have been around long enough to kind of really go off on these branches. There's got some other stuff where like if you ally to one faction, you can kind of raid other factions and manage the kind of like how much they like you and
A bit of the politics
and,
going on.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I've really been enjoying that. I like that the missions themselves are a good length. Like to do a mission takes me 15 minutes. Maybe like some of them are bigger than others. Some of them you'll get into and they'll just be. I'll look because the first thing I always do is like skirt the map. I was like, "How big are you, map?" And it's like, "All right, okay, you're pretty small. I know it's probably going to take me 15 minutes. All right, cool." Like it's just like this nice. You kind of get into this rhythm of like, "Oh, I'll do one more. I'll do one more." Like it never feels kind of too long-winded. There's already been some situations. I've had one person die on me so far. And it happened because there was an alien or whatever this thing is. I had no idea what it was. It then basically possessed me, and it's like, well, what the fuck do I do? I'll try to shoot it off. Oh,
Shot the guy.
I shall go. And unlike XCOM, getting replacements are actually kind of tricky. So it's like, oh shit, to get someone else, I can go recruit from that place over there. It's going to cost me a lot of money.
Especially since you got a habit of shooting your own people.
I didn't know how to get rid of the thing. I've so far I've actually been really enjoying it. It feels like. Yeah, it feels different. Like it's like there's enough. Like the way it tells the story, or the way I explore the world, I like. I like the length of the missions. The units have some good abilities. Like there's this one which has got a really good jump jet, so you can kind of get around a lot. There's like abilities where basically you get a free move, so it's like you can kind of do a pretty long dash, which actually won't consume any points. So you can kind of get around and flank people and stuff like that. I mean it does feel like a variant of what new XCOM did a little bit, but I think it's changed enough that. It feels like it's doing its own thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's on Game Pass, so go.
So might as well.
Just give it a go.
I love Game Pass.
Game Pass is
Why not?
Yeah. Game Pass is so good. It's going to be my go-to games service, I can tell.
Oh,
they're just going to
It
keep
already is, I think.
Yeah.
like the only problem I have with Game Pass is that it's not on the Switch. And
Yes.
sometimes
All my games are on the Switch.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, because I didn't actually end up playing it, but because I had it on my list before I played it. And it was like, what's the demon? It's a pinball.
Oh, the
adventure.
Demon Tail. Demon Tail.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of that.
I'm like, oh, I want to play this, and then I see it's like coming soon on Switch. I'm like, fuck, but I already have it on Game Pass. But I want to play it on Switch.
Yeah. Just to kind of quickly stay on Game Pass for a sec, because we also saw Halo Reach came out, and I did play a little. Bit
I
of
played
that.
some too.
And
I don't like that game.
That game, they designed it for a controller, and they did a very good job designing that game for a controller.
Doesn't feel good on a keyboard.
The moment you put a mouse and keyboard, you realize, oh,
Pulse 15 again.
this game was never really that much of a twitchy shooter, was it? It's a thing that you point the gun at the thing, and bullets might hit it.
You let aim assist kick in slightly.
Well, it's not.
It's not.
It
quite
feels
that.
like you're firing, like you hip, because basically there's no ADS, so it feels like you're hip firing
in a vague direction.
In a vague direction of an enemy, and sometimes
Enough
the bullets hit them because I just spray. I found like the battle rifle. The moment I found that, I'm like, I can aim down my sights. I can get headshots. This feels slightly better. But yeah, I was thinking like, it's gonna be real cool jumping into Halo, finally getting that mouse and keyboard, the dream of like back when Halo was out.
Yeah, it wasn't awful.
It doesn't feel good.
I could just go play other games.
Yeah, it's. Honestly, if you're gonna play it on PC, you're best off just hooking up a controller because it's what it's designed for.
The thing is, it's like a really early prototype of the shooting in Destiny, except we have Destiny, which is free to play also, and it is infinitely better shooting wise.
It has amazing shooting.
And just because I love segues, games that have better shooting wise, James and I also have been playing a little bit of Remnant from the Ashes, which has been another bit of a cult hit this year. I keep hearing about it, and I was like, I'm just gonna fucking get it. And I said, hey, you want to play, James? And you're like, I don't own it. I go, yeah, I bought it for you like half an hour, you motherfucker. I was like, we're gonna
check your
play
emails.
Remnant. Yeah. Check your fucking emails, son. We're gonna play some Remnant. Woo! I really feel like a lot of the world geometry is just from Darksiders 3.
It could be.
So yeah, it's weird. It kept getting pitched to me as a third-person co-op shooter Dark Souls, and other than the fact that
people tried to pitch it.
Other than the fact that there's bonfires, no, it's not. But what it is a game that's real good shooting things. It's real good shooting things. where the first like kind of enemies are these like just little blobby boys with little arms and legs. They they don't look like, but they remind me of like the fodder of like the guys at the beginning of Halo, like just the little ones that scream. The grunts, they're so fucking fun to shoot. They flop around and they ragdoll them back. You're going. It's like one shot to kill most of them. Anyway, so what I haven't done at the moment, I'm going to play with another friend as well, because what this game does do, which is unique, is that it actually rolls a different world when you start it.
Yes.
It's static once it rolls it, but it means that the world design and the order of the bosses you encounter is actually different for most players. But as we have only been playing it the one time, the one thing we were saying to each other is that it doesn't feel random. Feels intentional, which is the nicest thing you can say against something that's been generated to a degree. I do shudder to think about playing the game not co-op.
Well, my one experience with Remnant is not playing it, but it is watching the guy who no-hits Dark Souls trying to no-hit it.
Oh, yes.
Trying to finish Remnant without getting hit once. And boy, was that an experience to watch.
And is he soloing it?
It is very different game soloing from what I can see.
Well, there are enemies. There are enemies that are not difficult, but you can't shoot them and they're coming towards you.
Yeah.
But if you've got two people, the other person just
distract and one person's kiting on, one person's shooting, and even some of the boss designs are very much based around like waves versus the boss, and
just the ability to pick someone up when they've fallen. That stuff is integral to how this game plays.
It's very much designed as a co-op game.
We haven't had the hardest time playing it. We're just playing it on normal. There are harder difficulties, but it's been fun, and we've had to pick each other. We've had a couple of deaths.
It doesn't feel like a cakewalk.
No.
The difficulty feels pretty good.
It's even just basic things like, so there's a home base, and you go back there to do upgrades and everything, and all the bonfires, you can just go back to home base. They just teleport you. It's a quick travel system. It's like, there's a straight up fog door up ahead. You know what? Let's go back and spend all our XP. Let's see what we can get.
That's where it's like Dark Souls.
There's no dropping of resources on death.
No,
which is good.
So there's none of recovering your soul or anything. The shared resources when you pick them up, other than I don't think ammo was shared. So we was discovering that where I'm like, I can't even pick up rifle ammo, and James is like, I don't have any rifle ammo. Like, oh shit, here, it's over here. I've got some in front of me. But also each weapon, I believe it's only one, but at least at this point in the game it's only one. You can also apply basically an ability to. So then once you start opening up more abilities, it's like not only do you have your build of like, okay, I have this shotgun and this pistol or whatever, also I have a shotgun that once I've built up my charge, I can heal everyone, or I can shoot some vines out.
There's a few more options.
Yeah, the actual abilities are really powerful.
Really generous.
Yeah, so it feels really meaningful. So like I was going basically heals and vision.
Yeah, which just highlights every enemy in the area.
Yeah,
which is great.
Super useful.
Yeah. But because they're so powerful, it's really good playing with someone else, because then you start getting that like a good kind of spread.
Exactly. So one of the ones I just added is one that's basically puts vines out, and everyone within a certain radius gets pulled towards it and everything. So we can start. Because I was going to go like, man, that extra heal that he can pop, just like, it's not an Atlas Fast. There are Atlas Fasts. I don't know what they're called. There's Dragon Hearts or something. But yeah, I'm like, I'll get that ability too. And as soon as we went back and there were new abilities, like, let's kind of,
that's redundant.
Spread it out.
We need more stuff.
We need more stuff. Like, there's shit here that we can actually get into and start doing. It's been seamless co-op. I haven't had any dropouts or anything. It just works. That was
even when it said it dropped out, it hadn't dropped out. That was a really weird bug. It's like, you've been disconnected. It's like, Paul, are you still there?
Still playing.
Like, yeah. Like, oh, okay.
Let's get going. And it really is kind of the feeling of it. It's generally fun, but then all of the production of it is just solid. Like every time, like I get clothes with a helmet. They found the other antler, I believe.
Started collection.
Yes, that's the one they've chewed more in the last year. It's like I go like, I've put on a helmet, but I made it. My chick looks pretty cool. I want to see her head. It's like, there's a remove helmet button. Of course there is.
Every game needs it.
Yeah, well, every time I've looked for an option and go, it'd be good if they had this. It's been there. Oh, weird things. Okay, so guns, you can only fire aiming down sights.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that took us a bit to get used to.
Because if you fire without aiming down sights,
Yeah.
you do melee, which is really fucking weird to get used to. Except it also highlights that you are supposed to be using melee all the time as well as the weapons, because you do have limited ammo. It's like, if there's low rank stuff, it's like, don't waste your bullets on them. Start going in there and hitting them with a giant fucking hammer.
I actually felt the ammo balance was really good. Like, it was enough that I didn't feel like
Just
I needed
right.
to like be too stingy. It's not like Resident Evil.
No.
But it's like, I want to be a
always
little
on the
mindful.
cusp of
Yeah,
running
it's
out,
like-
like,
yeah.
constantly, yeah.
Like, you get to that point where you're like, I'm low, I better start meleeing stuff now. And, and they drop ammo, so...
Although I guess if I was designing that, I would actually just tie the drop rates to create that.
Of course.
Yeah.
I assume they have.
Yeah. That's the easiest way to balance that.
The lower the ammo, the higher the drop rate.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just hard. And that's the thing. It's like, all of it just works. And it may not be the most revolutionary game I played this year, because there's at least 2 of those. 3 kind of. But it works. It's fun. I want to get in there. I want to play through it with another person's world to see what the differences are. With my bits, like, I've got this stuff from another place, and we can bring it in. And once the weapons start getting a bit weirder, because at the moment they're still pretty basic what we're using, because we've just sort of gone the length of about 2 bosses in. But it is super fun.
The other weird thing they do is skills.
Yeah.
So you've got, because I've got like a health or vitality. Something.
Yeah.
But then I've got
different traits.
Yeah. So and one of them I've got is like soul, spirit, or something like that, because I chose like the healer starter.
Yeah.
And I'm the brawler.
Yeah, but you can still get these other skills. Like you acquire skills randomly as you play. So it is classless.
Yeah.
But it's like this. Yeah, I haven't seen that
we
before.
acquired skill from the boss, didn't we?
Yeah, and there's a co-op one we got from just co-oping.
Which I guess also means that the order you get bosses in your world
Changes
the
dictates
order you
the
get
skills you
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which if you are then playing with people in different worlds, you get quite different builds. So it's got a lot of interesting stuff about it. And I say it just works as well. And it's quite attractive. And shooting those little fucking mobs is great.
Feels good.
Yeah, nothing's too bullet spongy. I mean, obviously the bosses a little bit, but
But you expect that in a game like that.
oh, most of this stuff is
Anyway.
just like, if you just shoot it right, it dies real satisfying, which is what
They've all got weak points and stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
much.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
always-
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
you just get them headshots in.
Strategies.
And just one of those, like, in the area we just went through, there were just a lot of enemies hanging from the ceiling, and when you get near them, they drop down. But also, especially if you pop James's
drop the
vision,
vision,
you
yeah.
just
See
see
them
like
all.
Oh, there
all
they
this shit on
are.
the ceiling. It's like,
Yeah.
well, we can basically kill you before you even hit the
Yeah.
ground, motherfuckers. But it's all like in the world, and when things we were going through sewers at the beginning, and one of the things we quickly discovered was that just because we've cleared an area does not mean they can't keep coming in.
Yep.
Which feels great in that kind of environment, especially in co-op. It's like
I
someone's
was
always
constantly
checking the
looking
six. Yeah,
behind.
they're always-
I was like, because a few times it's like, we suddenly have stuff coming up that had spawned behind us. Yeah.
Especially that creepy guy with a
Yeah,
sword.
the
first
two
time we
sword
met
guy,
him.
the slow-looking guy.
Now they're easy to kill, but
Yeah.
back then we were scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, very fun game. Boopity-boo. Let's do. We did a Remnant from the Ashes. We did a ting. I like the Epic Games Store.
Controversial opinion.
Controversial opinion. Paul brought us TM.
Well,
I've
they've
trademarked my own name.
they've given me.
Get the pitchforks.
So at the
many
moment, they're
things.
doing 12
Yeah, I know,
games
right?
in 12 days, which is even more games than they're already giving away. But also, they've brought back their $10 off sale, which means it has to be a game that's $15 or more. But there's a lot of games at $15.
Yeah, I've been really eyeing up
$5 games.
I've been really eyeing up Paranoia.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And also, they say that you get a $10 coupon, but what they mean is just that it applies negative $10 every time you buy a game.
Yeah.
So you don't have a one-off. It's as many times as you want.
Oh, I thought it was a once-off coupon.
Nope.
Oh,
It's a coupon on your purchase.
Yeah.
So if you make separate purchases,
Which
which you have to,
because there's no
can't
cart.
buy more.
I'm very angry about the fact there's no cart. It matters a lot to me. Sounds like the wife might be home. Or maybe the dogs are just crazy.
they're getting very excited.
They're very excited. It might even be worth swinging that door shut while we got the opportunity there, Sam.
Go.
Get out of here, dogs. You're dead to me now.
Don't say that. Goodbye, dog.
No, everyone knows I'm obsessed with my dogs.
no one's going to take him seriously.
So, but what I bought was Superliminal, which I've been looking at for a while because I did not want to spend $15 US on it, but $5 US.
$5 is about right.
I can get in that one. So this was a Portal-like, we'll call it, or maybe even a Stanley Parable-like, or what else was I throwing in there? puzzle
Those types of games.
Those kinds of games. It's first-person puzzle game. It's a bit quirky. Got some dialogue that happens.
There's a
You break the
narrator.
fourth wall. There's a narrator. The narration and the story are quite forgettable in this game. You are in the dream world, which instantly makes everything a little bit less meaningful. And when they try to make it a bit more serious by the end, it wasn't really landing for me. But the basic concept is that it works on perspective of objects for scale.
Yep.
So if I were to pick up this mushroom and I was holding it here and I was looking at a wall and I released it, it would be next to that wall and 20 feet high.
Yeah, it's exploiting the fact it's in 2D.
If I looked at a table and put it down, it would be the size of a regular mushroom. So they showed this for ages. And I'm like, that's a cool mechanic. I would be interested to see how you build an entire game around this. And the answer is they don't. They build a series of, I think, about 7
toys.
Kind of. Well, it's like, so it's basically 7 levels. Each time's a dream. You're Inception, and you're going deeper into the dream world, deeper, and each one has its own gimmick. And one of them's that. And then they said, "Can we think of 6 others that are just as good?" There they go. Some of them good, some of them a bit. Probably the best part is at the end of the game where it's a little bit more freeform, where it's like everything's falling apart, the dream world and everything, and they start mixing together a few of the elements at the same time. That's when it becomes a little bit more like it gets to subvert things a little bit and everything. But that said, with one exception, I just walked into a room and did every puzzle in the game and walked out of that room and kept going. I think it took about 2, maybe 3 hours to do the whole game.
Which for $5 isn't bad.
Which isn't bad. I didn't
good
$5.
Yeah,
and it looks good, and it's main mechanic. And I
Watching
didn't mean to
cats
say
is
that
gonna
there's.
cost more than that.
I didn't mean to say there's other mechanics are shit. They're just not.
They're not
as strong.
that way, yeah,
You're not going to base a game around.
Yeah.
And one of the other mechanics is basically still the same thing, but just with in a different way. I'm not gonna, because it is basically discovering those mechanics. I'm not going to describe them explicitly. $5 worth it if you're into that sort of game, which I definitely am. But also, it's not the strongest in the thing. I would not recommend it on its regular price. But yeah, it's all right. So, Samuel, you've been in love with another game.
I have Children of Morta.
Oh yeah.
Which is Morta, not Mordor.
I thought it was Mortia. I was putting an I in it.
There's no I in
But
it.
it's not Mortar. It's Mortar.
Morta. Yeah.
Morta.
It's an odd one.
Children of Morta.
But yeah, this may be one of my new most favorite roguelites.
I bought it on your recommendation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you played it yet?
I have.
Oh yeah. Cool.
And not enough.
Not enough.
So far, it's like, this is fine.
So yeah, so it is effectively a roguelike that plays a bit like Diablo. In that it is a RPG without the loot.
I did have to adjust my, I suppose, Zelda sensibilities into oh no, I just got to keep smashing the mobs.
Yeah. So it's built on an interesting premise in that where with most roguelikes, you start a run and your run in a roguelike game is pretty much built around all the things you find in your run. Like with your Dead Cells, it's what items you find, what weapons you use.
Just go a bit
Binding
closer
of
to
Isaac.
Yeah, there we go.
You're
You're in your real whisper away from my...
Binding of Isaac is around all the items you find, and the different characters start with different items, which is what changes the run. Whereas Children of Morta, whilst it has those elements of items you find that are randomized through the procedural dungeon run, you kind of choose your play style by choosing the character you start as. So there's 7, I think it's 7 family members, and you start off with only just 2 unlocked. And as you progress, you unlock the others. And each family member is effectively playing a different class.
Yeah, because dad with a sword,
you start with
daughter
a sword and shield
archer.
warrior, and a daughter's an archer, and then you unlock the rogue, who is a far more faster paced, dual dagger wielding, much more dodge related.
Is there any progression through the individual family members?
There is. So each family member has a skill tree. So as you do runs, you get experience, you level up, you put points in skills. There are also passive skills for every family member that applies to the whole family, no matter who you're playing. So it kind of prioritizes going back and leveling up other characters and kind of playing them all equally to get those passives, as well as, for me, having a favorite one that I do most of the runs with. The other thing it does is that, unlike a roguelike where you start a run and you just there's a goal at some point and you're running through procedurally generated levels, it's individual dungeons that are procedurally generated, which is where the Diablo kind of theme comes from, because it's a story-based game. So there's an ongoing plot line, and you finish a dungeon.
Yep.
So the first dungeon you've got is 2 floors. That's it. And there's a boss at the end. The boss is always the same boss every run, but the floors are layouts different. Most of the enemies you find are the same, but it feels very Diablo-esque. The map is very like Diablo 3 map, like it's the way it's generated. And if you beat that boss with a character, you unlock the next dungeon, and the next one's got 3 floors, but it's the one next along, and then you unlock the 3rd dungeon. But you can choose to go back and play the other ones, and they get harder as you go through, because obviously you're leveling up, but the difficulty is on the dungeon, not on your level. So if you've played one character and you've gotten through to the 2nd area, and you're fine with that character in that area, and you unlock another character, if you try to go straight into that new area with the new character who's level 1, you're not going to have a good time.
Okay, yeah. So you want to go back with the other characters,
so you want to
earlier
go back
ones,
and play through earlier dungeons.
Yeah.
Where there is a kind of leeway between that is that gold in this game, which you find randomly off enemy drops and breaking pots and stuff like that, is pretty much only spent on progressive upgrades. So armor upgrades, weapon upgrades, stuff to luck, things you can find whilst you're down in dungeons. They're all gold upgrades that apply to every run once you've upgraded it. So flat percentage damage increases to all characters, stuff like that.
So one of the things I often struggle with roguelikes, say like take Dead Cells, is that I never starting back at the beginning every time, or any like basically. I mean, I know it's a roguelike thing, and I know there's shortcuts and kind of stuff like that, but it's always like, okay, I've still got to kind of get through these early bits. So is this one? It's more once I've done a dungeon, it's done. I can start at any dungeon I want that I've unlocked. But there's more a motivation to go back. Like I don't have to play back through dungeon 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to 4 again.
Once you've unlocked it with one character, they're unlocked for any choice.
Yes. Okay, that's good.
You just might have a more difficult time if you've got a character that's like underleveled, as it were.
Yeah.
But you can still do it. Like if you're good at the game, you can still do it. And like the way I look at it is, like I started off playing the Archer, and the play style on that felt very much like playing Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah.
Because the way it works, it's twin stick or it's face buttons for attacks. No matter which character you're playing, some of them work better using twin stick, like the Archer. I found a lot of the melee characters work better just hitting the attack button in whatever direction you're facing. But that felt very Gungeon-like playing the Archer, and then I swapped to playing the Rogue, and it felt like I was playing an isometric Dead Cells.
Okay.
It's very different experience because the play style is very different between those characters. And I've unlocked 5 of them now, and all 5. Like, it feels like I'm playing the same game just with different...
So, kind of, when you have a different
mechanics.
character, it, like, recontextualizes the dungeon because it's,
so
like,
you're,
different
you're
different
playing
style.
it differently because
Yeah,
the way you approach it. And, like, the Archer, you spend a lot of the time, like, pulling backwards whilst firing at things running towards you. But, like, you know, if you're playing the Warrior Sword and Shield, you're just blocking face and going right in.
Yeah.
The Rogue is dodging a lot. The Monk is based around building up a shield through attacking, so that you're not taking damage, it's just damaging its shield. Like, there's a lot of those things, and I think, like, I get burnt out on roguelikes whilst I put a lot of hours into Isaac and Dead Cells and Gungeon, Isaac being the big one. Like, you get kind of burnt out on that whilst your runs are different because of the items you're finding. It's the same
still doing
game.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day,
That's what loses me.
Whereas
yeah.
this, you can go,
As-
okay, I'm just going to play as a different character.
Yeah.
Especially
It's a different game.
Isaac, because Isaac, not only do you do the same thing, the more you play it, the longer the game
Yeah.
gets.
That's true, yes.
And you're just like,
Yeah.
because Isaac...
Each run takes 45 minutes.
When I started playing Isaac, it was a 5-minute game, and now it's like, this is an hour now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've grabbed it, but I haven't got into it yet.
It's been
Only.
very enjoyable. And, like, the items you find that make it roguelike and change those runs, it's a few different ones. So there's basically, you can find passive stuff, which is either just effects that will happen, things that follow you around, heal you occasionally, or do melee attacks to help you out. You can find a new skill. So you've got your main... Effectively, every character has their main attack. They have a regular skill you unlock, and then a secondary skill you unlock, which is usually kind of a buff type time-based one. And then you can find skills, which are like totems you can drop on the ground or like bombs you can throw, stuff like that. Those are the randomized ones. And then you can also find these things called charms, which are single-use items that persist over runs if you don't use them.
Okay.
And a lot of those are a permanent bonus for the run you're in if you use them. Stuff like, all my attacks now do poison damage.
Okay.
But the item gets used up. But you can go, I don't want to use it yet. Save it for a future run.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And then it has the usual lots of events you can encounter in the dungeons, randomized. You can encounter another family member down there who will then play alongside you as you go through a little corridor, killing enemies to save someone.
Is there any co-op?
The whole thing's 2-player co-op.
Ah, cool.
Local and online, I believe.
You're telling me?
I'm pretty sure it's both. Yeah.
I don't even know the first bit yet.
I'm pretty sure it's local and online, 2-player co-op, which is why there's 2 characters unlocked at the start.
Ah, that makes sense.
So you can pick one or the other. So yeah, player 2 can pick a different character.
And if we didn't mention it, we're both playing this on Switch.
Yes.
It's also on PC. Do you know if it's on other platforms?
I have no idea.
How's the performance on Switch?
It is actual gameplay. No issues. I haven't had any frame drops, nothing. It is very, very detailed pixel art, like incredibly detailed. One of my big shocks on it is that it's still very readable, and I didn't expect it to be readable.
Looks like it's on everything, including Linux.
Fun, sure. No frame drops. The load screens are a bit iffy in that they're an animated load screen, but they're the ones where like it's not animated because it's loading.
It's just got an animation.
It's janky. And then when you end a run, it does like a summary, which is supposed to animate, and on the Switch it does the same thing. It hangs at like certain points until it's finished.
I used to love,
but it doesn't affect the game. The game runs fine. Both docked and handheld.
The transferring on like the DS. It's like, we're downloading this for us. It's just like running across, like holding a thing. It's like, what does this indicate?
Pikmin are actually carrying blocks of code.
It's like, what does it actually mean?
God, it takes so long too.
It's the little blocks of data, Paul. Yeah. They're carrying the actual data.
Those 3DS transfer rates, Jesus.
Very slow.
So like all the kind of performance issues I've encountered have been non-gameplay related.
No, my brief experience, it ran relatively well. Yeah. So Children of Morta. Yeah. So did you have?
I just would add these little things.
You can add things
between runs. So like you're in the family house.
Oh yeah.
It is all one big family, and like the little story points that happen. So like unlocking characters isn't a case of you can play this character now. It's actually like, oh, this character's come back from somewhere because the family sent them a letter to bring them back.
That's
like, they're not just all in the house ready to go.
Have anyone here played Hades yet?
Yes.
Because that's what I like, the idea of you going back to like the temple or whatever it is, and there's like all the gods there, and the story progresses in between runs.
For that, and you get like little snippets of like storyline that happen like between runs and stuff like that.
Done yet?
No,
no. It is on Steam now.
Yeah, it's
had quite a few updates.
Yeah, their whole roadmap didn't have it. I think it's supposed to happen. They were aiming to have it finished like mid next year or something. Like it was always that.
Yeah.
They were never.
I'm just waiting for it to be out before I play.
Yeah,
it.
I think pretty much the same thing.
I picked it up at the last discount.
The last $10.
Played a little bit and went, "Yep, I'm going to wait for this to be."
Yeah, because I know I'm not going to play it again, so I might as well, if I'm going to play it once, play it when it's done.
Yeah. So I've got another game that you can buy on Epic, but I'm going to wait because we're going to do some more of this shit. There's a lot of it. Should we do the demos we played, or should we do the Nintendo stuff? I think we can just highlight a couple.
I didn't play any of those demos.
Yeah.
Okay, so during the Game Awards, there was a weird thing that happened, which was the Steam Game Festival, which was, I think, 13 games released a demo for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Which was weird. And these demos are primarily games that they've been showing sort of publicly at events like PAX and everything. A few of these games, it was kind of beneficial for me because they were pretty much all games I couldn't get to at PAX.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, now I can give it a shot.
What I loved about this is it was like all the games that were at the booths at PAX. And because they had this 48-hour window, it was all right if they were broken.
Yeah. It didn't actually have to be a good demo.
Yeah. It was like, if something's broken, it's like, it's just a thing out there now. There's no expectation. It's not, someone's not going to play it in 2 years and go like, oh, this game shit. It's like, no. It doesn't exist in 2 years.
I've never thought of the concept of like a virtual, like kind of industry show. But I loved it. It was great. Like I was so like, I just got to get a taste of these games. It was all right if it was like done in 15 minutes or 5 minutes.
I liked it, but I would have liked more than 48 hours because I wasn't available the first day. And I spent... I pretty much sprayed 12 games back to back.
That's why I didn't play it. I just didn't have the time.
A little bit more time. But as a concept, I really like it. I thought it was a really good way to frame expectations jumping into it. Okay.
With the exception of the one that I've just marked next to, because I want to talk about that last. So, games. 2 games that I was very excited to play by... I'm going to call them my friends because I wish they were my friends, but they're only friends in the sense that they remember I exist when I talk to them. So, to me, we're best buds.
Is that not the definition of friends?
Who are you? So, Barney and Dave from Powerhoof, the most productive developers in Australia, I would say. Yeah, well, I mean, they release like 4 projects a year, like 2 commercial and 2 like just for fun games. Like, what the fuck are you doing this? I think they just love working. So they released the demos for 2 of their upcoming games. One of them's Acid Knife, which is primarily Barney's project. Yeah, it's a roguelike, side-scrolling dungeon crawler with almost a free-flowing pixel art, which almost reminds me of Devil Daggers.
Yeah, it's like the refresh rate on the pixels is low, so it smears.
Yeah, it can smear.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like darkness is truly dark, and it bleeds off the screen and stuff like that. He's a fantastic animator, but also he's a lover of adventure games. So this is a platforming combat. I'm going to say it's Souls-like in its combat, very basically, but it's basically. But you have an inventory.
Oh boy.
It's a limited inventory as well.
Oh, double boy.
And you can combine items in your inventory. And you might have to drop an item to use another item and just switch it and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could create an acid knife.
Whilst a fucking demon snake is coming through and you're trying to block it, and weapons have durability, and it is...
And you drop them if you hit really easily.
You lose your knife and grab it again.
You have to get gems to unlock doors, and there's only so much space. So they take up room as well.
It is this amazing balance of and now this game is very early in development. I've spoken to him on the podcast before, where his dreams of what this game will be. He knows it won't be those dreams, but it'll be some of those dreams, and he's going to experiment with all
of them.
Well, the levels that you're playing through are literally like test levels. Like each of them is testing a mechanic,
and it's going through there. You very quickly you get to grips with something, and you feel like, boy, that's all right, but it's a bit clunky. It'd be nice if there was a short. And the next level is like, and here's the shortcut to do it easier. And like you follow him on Twitter, and everything's just like, just working on better inventory management buttons. What does everyone think about this? And like, man, this is great, very reactive. So I really enjoyed it, but hard as fuck.
Yeah, it definitely hit. Like I played through a bunch of it, and then it definitely hit this point where it's like, oh shit, you're in a hard video game.
But yeah, really, really unique. It'll be interesting. So, I mean, the general plan was basically to have like a set overworld and then procedurally generated dungeons. So, Diablo-like.
Yeah.
So, then the other game was called The Drifter. And I wasn't even that interested in playing it because it's a Powerhoof adventure game, and they make a few of those, and they're always good. And I'm like, let's wait for it to come out. It'd be great. But I thought, I'll give it a shot anyway because it's a time-limited thing. Why not? And I didn't even know it's right there in the fucking title. You're a drifter. You're a homeless person in modern day Australia. And there's like a noir event, like, there's killings and thriller stuff going on and everything. But playing an actual homeless person that's just like the main gist of the demo is your phone is dead and you've got to find a way of charging it because you're trying to talk to your sister. I just loved the setting instantly. I'm like, I haven't played a game in this kind of thing. This is kind of cool. And also, I mean, not spoil it, it starts with it. There is something weird going on with time. And you know what Paul likes? Paul likes time
things
loops.
in time.
Yeah. It's like, he wakes up with some guy, he's like, no, don't fucking do it. You're going to start the loop again. You're like, what are you talking about, crazy person? There's going to be time loops. It's going to be good.
You see something to play with scale and make it underwater, and you're a happy man.
Oh, man. Imagine a time loop game underwater where you are tiny. So good. We can make that, James.
Paul's dream.
Do it. Okay, so those are my 2 with that. James, were there any there?
Yes. So the ones that I checked out, I looked at New System Shock.
Yes.
So they a while ago
updated version of the old demo.
They've jumped over, I believe, to Unreal now. I think they started in Unity and shifted over.
I believe you.
Yeah. So I remember first I was a bit worried this would just be the demo played a while ago, which was kind of short and sweet, and you can still get that demo. No, this is a Very lengthy demo. I thought it was a very, very good remaster. Because clearly they've taken the same map data. Like, it's still all grid-based System Shock. And like they've got the same audio logs. I think they've kept all that stuff, but they've updated in the ways that make it good. So like graphically, it looks great. I actually really like what they've done with their pixel art style, where it's pixelated, but only just, and it's just on the textures, and you don't really notice it until you kind of walk up and look at a wall and go, oh, okay, there's like this slight kind of pixelated look to what's going on. Apart from that, it's like it looks quite modern. The levels still feel kind of dated because it's literally, and that's why like I want to call it a remaster. Like it's not really a remake. It's like it's not a reinvention. It is 100%. This is System Shock.
Those levels.
All the enemies are in the same place. All the items are in the same place. Like it's all the same.
Code's the same.
I didn't get into any kind of virtual reality stuff because I know it's in there somewhere from what I remember. But the demo itself was huge. It was like the first like medical. But I didn't get to the end of it. Like I played quite a bit of it, and I reached a point where I'm like, oh, I probably should do something else.
Still these other demos.
There's also demos to play. But it was really nice to see that they were really keeping alive what System Shock was. Like it's like they've been smart about it, where they've gone, it is actually just kind of remastering it. But it was because it had modern sound, modern graphics, modern controls. It felt genuinely scary. So it got me keen. Like it looks good. I think the other one I played a little bit of Tactical Galactical.
Tactical Galactical.
No, I want to call it Tactical Galactical. Yeah, Tactical Galactical.
I'm pretty sure I've wrote the name right.
Yeah,
I just copy pasted it.
It is Tactical
But
Galactical.
you like Tactical.
Tactical.
A word that is meaningless and not a word.
Yeah, but it's fun to say.
It is a fun word.
And so that one was a interesting strategy game, which is like this hex-based game where it kind of reminded me almost a little bit of what was that? The Total Annihilation's game, the Planetary Annihilation. What was it called? Yeah,
Planetary Annihilation.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of that perspective, where kind of like it's a rotating planet you can look at. But it's all hex based, and all your units have some kind of like they have like basically attack pattern they can do, but they move really slow. So it's like it's in real time, but it's more like I've got to get over here. It's going to take a little while. So while that's happening, I'm going to kind of do something else. So kind of that, it's not turn-based, but you're kind of working at that level.
Pace,
yeah.
The strategy is time-based, but the game is not.
Yeah, like I didn't mind it. I found like it got a little bit too chaotic, a little bit much. So it kind of got to a point where like the strategy was sort of like, I'm now just like, there's too many things. Like I do kind of just want to pause or something like that. But it was okay. It didn't blow my mind, but I think, all right, there's probably some people that would like that. I think, what else did I play? I mean, I didn't play Carrion again.
You tried to play Spiritfarer.
Oh, I tried to play Spiritfarer. That was an interesting experience.
So basically, Spiritfarer was the first demo I played, and I was like, whoa, you guys should check out Spiritfarer. It's a cool game. And then James...
Yeah, so I loaded up Spiritfarer. Very beautifully animated kind of side-scroller. And I'm controlling a cat. I'm like, this is kind of cool. I'm getting to control a cat. And I run to the side of the screen, and the camera keeps pulling out because it really wants to keep the other character, which is like the kid,
a lady.
I
think it's a lady.
Yeah, I can't remember.
This is all the animals in the boat game.
Right? Yeah. And like I was like, now like I'm trying to talk to someone because the camera's so far pulled out. Like this is a bit buggy. I was playing as the cat. I'm not meant to play as the cat. I do think I figured out eventually what was going on. Because I kept hitting bugs with things like I managed to open a menu, but I couldn't actually get it back out of it. So I tried multiple times to play this game, and every time
you were having, because you mentioned multiple bugs with menus, and my reaction was like, "There's menus in the game."
Yeah. So I think what was going on was I have my HOTAS plugged in. And I think it was recognizing the HOTAS as the primary control. It wasn't checking to say, hey, is this a gamepad?
Because at first you were saying gamepad and keyboard. I'm like, but I'm using a gamepad and a keyboard, and I'm not having these issues.
It thinks the HOTAS is the gamepad.
It thought the HOTAS was the primary character, and I was very confused as to why I couldn't play this game. So I eventually gave up, and then later on figured out like,
but
that was probably what's going on.
At least you could beat the kiddie version of Psychomantis.
yes, I can. Yes, I can.
It's kind of fun. And it takes us back to like these being this weird thing that they put out and they don't have to be right. Because when I played that demo, it was flawless.
Yeah.
It was bug free. It was like, and if it was supposed to be full release, that's something that they would have had to deal with.
Yes.
With this, they would have just said, sorry, it's gone now.
Yeah.
We got nothing to deal with here. We don't have to do extra work on it, which is fair enough. But my experience with it. So yeah, it's you're playing this character. You are on a boat full of animals. Like it's very, what's the word when animals human like?
Anthropomorphic
Animals. And basically you're dealing with animals that are about to die, and you are fulfilling their last wishes and taking them on to the next world. So you're on this boat, and you go, hey, before I go, I want to go back to my hometown and get a jewel. We can do that. So we're going to navigate the boat over there. You go to a map, put it down. It's like, hey, while you're on the boat, it's going to take some time to travel there. Why don't you do some fishing off the back? Okay, that's cool. And we've got a garden over there. Why don't you plant some carrots and water them? All right. Why don't you walk around and just chat to people? Okay. Oh, boat's arrived. Off I get. Great. Go around. It's very charming. Then I go to the town. I meet a few people, do a few things like that, and they go, oh, this person wants to build this. Well, we already had a garden. It was a different kind of garden. They go, we want this garden, this room. I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? Oh, this is a building game. You actually get to build the boat and put the rooms around and rearrange them and everything. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then I get on the boat and things are there and like, oh, thanks, dearie, I'm ready to die now. Okay, great. We'll head off to where you need to go die. That'll be great. I head off there, and then a storm rolls through, and this big old toad says, you're the fucking Spiritfarer. Probably says something like that. It's like, you know what you love? Lightning. I'm going to start playing my flute. So I think he's got a flute. I might be making some of these details up, but he's got a flute in my memory. Lightning comes crashing down, and suddenly I'm running around the boat trying to get hit by lightning to power up. So it's a game where it has all of these systems, like this farming and this fishing and these social interactions and this platforming and this building, and it's all put together, and it's kind of busy work, but it's also just kind of fun to do and very charming.
Animal Crossing Grim Reaper version.
Yeah, and it's got like a almost not in style but Ghibli-ish vibe in its treatment of death and
I
animals and
remember
everything.
seeing the trailer for this. Whatever it was, the trailer got shown. It must have been.
I think it was E3.
Must have been
Was the
E3.
original
And,
release.
Me and Amy definitely as well. Like both went. That looks real interesting.
Yeah.
We both want to play.
I think
that.
I saw
I
some
don't
of
even
the,
know
like-
what it is yet, and I want to play
Yeah,
it.
I think I saw some of the farming. And I was like, bah, I'm out.
I think you just
And that-
sold it to me again.
Yeah, and I thought it was a really, really strong demo. Good thing I didn't have a HOTAS plugged in.
Yeah, that would have really fucked it.
Apparently, if you're player 2,
Yeah,
or
you get to play the cat.
you
Also-
get to play the cat who
shows
doesn't
me-
want to die, so it fucks up the
It
game.
shows me you can play a cat in it. Didn't
Yeah.
even know.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I also played Eastward.
Eastward
That
was...
So that was like this... the style's like Japanese steampunk.
I mean, I played all these and I'm not remembering.
Yeah. It was like a Secret of Mana style gameplay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where it's like... But the world was sort of like... Full of like... Old-looking... Kind of the retro old robots and like a rundown town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the art style's kind of a little hard to kind of pin down.
I think Secret of Mana is a
but
slightly higher res.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one you played two...
And actually, weirdly, what was that? Fuck, now I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'll think. It was a game
Yeah.
I reviewed earlier this year. It was like Stranger Things-ish. It was Crossing Souls.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit like Crossing Souls.
Because, yeah, it's one of those things which looks like it's set in modern time, but there's elements of fantasy.
Yeah.
It's
They've
a bit
done some lore
rundown.
building.
Yeah. But yeah, looks gorgeous. So in that one, it's like Secret of Mana thing where you're playing two characters. One has the ability to kind of throw out this like magic bubble, which can kind of like stun things, and the other can kind of actually do damage. I can't remember what they actually. I think it was like I can't remember what his weapon was. I think it might have been a baseball bat or something. I think it was something like that. And it's a pretty short little demo. I thought it was good length for like something you only had like a couple of days to play, and it's you kind of just have to go out and like it's got kind of like environmental puzzles, but really simple ones. They require the use of different abilities from each of the characters. So, for example, like one of the things is like if you're on a boat on a river, and there'll be like this like kind of like a buoy on a stick. Or a lifesaver on a stick, and if you beat it, it'll kind of give momentum.
You push against it
to the raft, basically. But then you have to swap the other character to kind of like clear the way, kind of through. So you kind of like very quickly kind of swapping between it. When you're in combat, it's like you'll want to play the girl to kind of like stun things, and then quickly swap out to go out and kind of do the damage. And things respawn real fast. So you kind of like
the respawn was so quickly. I just stopped fighting things. Why am I even doing this?
It was a bit like that. There was sometimes like, oh yeah, like you're really quick. So you kind of clear it out, but it did kind of keep you pushing forward. It didn't really do anything I thought that kind of blew my mind mechanically.
No.
But I did like that mechanic of swapping between the two characters. Never felt cumbersome. Like I always like, oh cool, swap.
Yeah.
Every now and then you'd kind of split off, kind of do separate things, and you have to kind of get back together again to do it.
One person opening the path for the other.
Yeah.
I suppose that was my complaint, I guess is the word, where it did just feel very rote. Like, I know how this stuff works.
Yeah.
I see the split up there. You'll walk over there and push that button while this person walks through. Yeah, I've played this a lot.
I think if it's going to sell you on anything, it'd probably be the world. The style and the world. And it's very well executed.
Very solid.
When you have multiple characters, it's very easy to just feel cumbersome. And it kind of awkward.
Trident comes to mind.
Especially when you've got like in combat where you've got like two different abilities you have to swap between modes to manage. But it all just felt pretty good. Like, okay, the boat's going. I got to quickly swap to this person so I can clear this to get through, and then kind of swap back to this for this. It worked. So actually, that was pretty good.
Okay. For the last,
the one that Paul put a check against.
This one. This was the one you almost didn't play.
Well, no, I'm gonna quickly mention the other ones. Roki was a cool little adventure game. Heavenly Bodies released their demo. Remember how we were really into it, and then we played it, and we didn't like it so much. I played it by myself. Oh, I'm much better by myself.
Oh yeah,
get out of here, James.
I did not like that game.
I liked it a lot more playing it by myself. Carrion, we've spoken about before. That's that cool one where you're playing a wild thing like monster. Haven was just weird. SkateBird still sucks. I don't know how far just making cool GIFs is going to get that game.
It's sad that it's bad.
It's just not a good skateboard game.
It's such a good premise for a skateboard game.
It's very cute. It's a very cute concept, but they haven't made a good game as well. I feel like this is going to end up going to be one of those things where it's a huge hit and everyone loves skateboard, and I'm just going like, but the basics aren't good.
I bet it will make a lot of content creators a lot of money.
Probably, yeah. I mean, and who knows? Maybe they'll turn around. Wooden Nickel didn't work. And moving out was a overcooked style, like you were moving furniture. Testing that by myself was not
that's
a value way of doing it.
SMG, isn't it?
I think so. I think it is. Yeah. So then I pretty much played everything except for Tactical Galactical or Galactical.
That is a more fun way to say it.
Galactical Galactical.
Galactical Galactical.
I mean, fun, stupid. You go your pick. So there was this one game, Chicory, A Colourful Tale, and it looked a bit like a black and white kids colouring book, and you could paint in colours into it.
From the Celeste developer.
Well, kinda.
Kind of.
The lead dev isn't from Celeste.
Oh, okay.
The lead dev. I loaded it up because I'm like, well, I've played fucking everything else. I may as well have a look. This game looks fine, but it just doesn't look to me. So this game is fucking fantastic. The main dev is the guy behind Wonder Song. One of my favorite games.
You just immediately sold it to me.
Yeah. And whilst so far it hasn't hit that level of subversion, playing the demo reminded me of first playing Undertale. There's a lot more going on to it than I gave it initial credit for. And it's straight up like it's a world, and there's someone that's in charge of painting the world, and you're like their ward. Something happens to them, so you get their magic paintbrush.
All the colors are gone,
and you it's one of those 1,000 games where the color's been robbed from the world, and you've got to paint it back in. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it looks like a kid's coloring book. It's like, it's so derivative. It's just going to be derivative, right? No, you walk around with Wasad, I think, and you move the mouse freely, and you can color in things as you go. Coloring in things often will have an effect on it, so a plant might grow when it's coloured, and you can uncolor it to make it shrink again, so it's used for traversal and that. But then it comes to the writing as well, and you have a world that is full of very endearing, charismatic characters that are a bit Undertale-ish, are like quite optimistic and friendly, but there's something going on behind the surface as well.
There was one where she was quite upset that the color had been taken out of her house. And so I come along, I'm like, oh, well, I will color your house again for you. And you color it, and she's sort of like, oh, I guess it's nice, but I prefer what it was before. I'm like, oh, I don't know what it was before. I
went into a bar, and they're like,
I tried.
We like to make t-shirts. Could you design a t-shirt for us? I made a cool Skull and Bones t-shirt, and like, have a free one. I don't have to wear that t-shirt for the rest of the game. I'm like, there's a lot of clothes, actually. I'm like, I love my clothes. Oh, you're a little dog as well.
Yeah. Little dog.
Cute little dog with my Skull t-shirt
on. One of my favorite things was you go to a phone booth. And like Homebound, you can call your parents, and it's sort of like this little built-in hint system, whereas you can call up home and it's like, oh, I'll ask Mum, what to do, and Mum will give you like this little like vague description of what you do. But while you're talking, there's this hand coming in off the side of the camera, just keeps stretching out, reaching for the phone, and it's like, oh
whack
dear,
it away.
It's like, oh, your father really wants to talk to you. You know he really likes over-explaining things. Do you want to talk to him? And it's like, if you want to, you can then get your dad to come and tell you exactly what to do. Yeah, right. So it's like this cute little like tiered hint system. So I was like, oh yeah, get dad to tell me. And he comes on, he's very excited to over-explain everything to you. But that's just the tone of it. Like it was amazing. It was very endearing how they delivered it.
It finishes with a boss fight, which is very good. It's fighting a giant eyeball in the dark.
Awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's Wonder Song guy. He also has people from the Celeste team, also people from the Night in the Woods team. It's like a real little like indie
group.
crossover. It's just like, oh, there's a lot of talent here.
It ended with me wanting more.
Yes.
It kind of ended like, because they kind of introduced a kind of a new mechanic, like a new basically darkness. I was like, oh, okay. And then like they give you the tool of what to do next, but it's like, oh, but sorry, end of demo. So they actually ended it like on this note of like, oh, I do want to keep going. Yeah.
So Chicory, A Colorful Tale, a game I almost did not play, which I'm very glad I did. Probably the highlight of the whole thing for me.
I really enjoyed it.
Very funny. And just very well put together. And painting stuff is like just making your own mark on stuff. Like coloring books are fun. Like you really just click on a thing that becomes colored.
Yeah, you just flood fill with stuff basically.
Yeah. But it's still satisfying to put your oon mark on the world, especially once they start like painting your own t-shirts and stuff like that. That's always. It's like what was PS Vita Tearaway.
Oh yeah.
The fact that world just like would put in your textures that you made, and every once in a while you look up and your face is literally looking down from the sun, and putting your own mark on stuff is always endlessly fun. I highly recommend it. You've got a Vita, don't you?
Yeah.
I probably don't own it physically. You could always play the PS4 version. Well, that was still a good game, but it was a different game.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to talk about some Nintendo Indie World Showcase, and we're going to go through it relatively quickly because we're already over what our normal time is. So,
it's a Christmas episode.
Yeah. They just announced a few things. Most importantly, Talos Principle, which came... Oh, shit, we've already spoken about that. No. Okay, the big ones. We'll just go with the big ones, and then we can quickly run through some of the other ones. Golf Story 2 has been announced, but it's not Golf Story anymore.
It's exactly what we all wanted.
It's Sports Story.
Now with less...
But everyone said, hey, they should do this.
And now there's less golf.
Less golf, more other sports.
Still looks like a lot of golf, though.
Yeah, no, it's still going to be too much golf.
It looks like a lot of golf with other sporting
I hope they improve the putting.
Yes.
Other than that, I was happy with the golfing in Golf Story 1. Anyone met those guys yet?
No.
Does anyone know who they are?
I think they're in Queensland somewhere.
Yeah, they are. They are Queensland based.
Yeah. Why they could be? They could be in the room.
Someone got as far as tracking down the like.
It's like the domain.
I saw like one interview with them.
Yeah.
I really think that they're just like in hiding or something. Like they're
we know they're in Queensland because someone tracked down like the registered company.
Yeah, exactly.
The ABN got tracked, but no one knows who owns it.
It's just like I just imagine just two people that they just like doing their own thing. They're maybe independently wealthy to a degree, and like we don't see the need to intersect with anyone else.
Just two people who really liked playing golf. And decided to make a game.
Next big game, which I was very excited by, Axiom Verge 2. Yes. I was thinking about playing Axiom Verge again, but now I might just play the sequel because it's a new game. Bit of a different style, not quite as glitch aesthetic as the first game. Like outdoor, I suppose it looks a bit more. The first one was SNESy. I don't know. It's just slightly different. I don't know how to counteract it. Counteract it? What the hell is that?
I don't know, man.
I'm drunk. I don't know how to describe it fully. But yes, the Axiom Verge was a fantastic Metroidvania, so more of that is good. They showed us some more Streets of Rage 4, which is still weird, but yeah, whatever. Just looking at B. Okay, so I was quickly... so you may notice sometimes when other people are talking, Paul's on his phone.
Yeah, looking things up to remind him what they are.
Yeah, I'm not just being I'm like going like, what the fuck was that game? So one of the games here, Murder by Numbers. I was like, what was that game? I don't really remember that game. So I look it up again, and mostly it's a visual novel, maybe a little bit Phoenix Wright-y.
This game.
I'm like, okay, but what's the gameplay part? Picross.
Yes, I remember seeing
visual novel Picross game.
Picross.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm pre-order now. Phoenix Wright, but with Picross. I hope if the writing's good, I'm down. Another weird one. They have. It's not quite out yet. It's out soon. Stranger's Wrath is coming to Switch. The Oddworld game, which I've played several times but never finished. And this will probably be no exception to that. Boyfriend Dungeon is coming.
Yeah, I was pretty keen for that.
But that's yeah, you can speak.
Well, the one thing I haven't found out yet, because I know Amy actually kickstarted it.
Oh, did she?
She backed it, so she's getting a key for the PC version. What I haven't checked is if they're now
switch it to the Switch,
letting people swap it to a Switch key or not.
It's worth checking out. Yeah,
I feel like they should be.
Yeah, so dungeon crawler where your weapons are boyfriends.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes,
and one female, I believe.
Oh, there
is one female weapon.
But it's called Boyfriend Dungeon.
It is. Yeah.
Is she a bit of...
I will be the boyfriend in the dungeon.
Is she like a BOI boy?
I'm not sure.
So if
because that's my fetish.
Maybe.
It's not your waifu. Is it like your swipe-fu?
I don't know what it is.
Swipe-fu?
What are you even trying to say?
Just swipe it. It's your swipe-fu.
I was trying to make a very terrible pun.
Yeah, that's not how puns work.
James, Naifu. It's right there.
Thank you.
Right there. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Thank you.
A few other small games. Were there anything? The Survivalist got announced, which was The Escapist, but it's a survival game on an island. Makes perfect sense for its thing.
They made a big deal about there
any
being
other games
monkeys.
that you guys are excited to discuss?
I want to look at Supermash.
I was intrigued by the idea of it.
I've seen it.
And
the execution didn't quite
I
happen.
know that the execution cannot be good.
So the basic premise is they've got like genres of games. Sims.
It looked like you were like you're running
games,
a video game
JRPGs,
store.
shmups, platformers, like just broad genres. And they let you pick two, and they smush them.
Yeah. You make one game from two genres.
Yeah. And for the most part, I'm like, I kind of see how it works. Like, you'd have, like, JRPG with platformer, I assume. Yeah. When you get to an enemy, it just kicks off the JRPG. But then there's, like, The Sims.
Yes.
And I'm like,
simulation.
How does that one mesh with these other ones? And I expect... Like, they have high, like... This high goal of, like, you can get your smashes, and you can share them, and see the best
The trailer
smash.
ended with a dev going, "This is my favorite smash. When you get it, put this code in, and it's my favorite one."
And like,
if you remember this,
I don't believe.
I'm so unsold on the actual implementation.
I cannot see it being something you can execute.
I'm so curious. I'm so curious.
What I feel like is that there's going to be a lot of those mixes where the mix is the art style and character like styles of one,
just put
in the gameplay of the other.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm imagining a lot of them want to be.
Yeah.
But what an interesting premise.
Yeah, it's
because it's like they've said, you know what? Let's make every game. And then find a way to make every game from those games.
They should add Stranding genre.
Oh man, I love that as a genre now. Dauntless that came out.
Yeah,
as well, which I've
on
Switch. Yeah, I gave that a quick go. God, that frame rate is bad.
Yep, I don't want to play it on there then.
But like it connects to other people. Like all the crossplay stuff's there. Like I logged in with my Epic account and my character.
I like
there.
Dauntless.
Yeah, just I wouldn't play it on Switch.
You just told me it was a bad frame rate, so I'm not interested anymore.
I guess if you have to. What else we got there?
Yeah, SkateBird again.
SkateBird
jumped out at me.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of Epic Game Store, back to where we were before. If you want to save $10, you can buy a little game called Wattam, by the creator of a little game called Katamari Damacy, and also Nobby Nobby Boy. If you're into that sort of thing,
not many people were.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, but I wasn't into it.
Oh yeah, like you're a sucker for those things, and you didn't really care.
So, Wattam, he's been working on for 5-6 years now. It was always described as a game where you are a mayor and you have a bomb under your hat and you walk around blowing people up. And that description did not help anyone understand what the fuck this game was. So,
is it a Stranding game?
It's almost a Stranding game. It lacks the multiplayer aspect to make it fully work, but it is about making connections with people. So, you are the mayor, you have a bomb under your hat, and you blow up your friends. That's it. Okay, thank you for listening to it. In the future, there has been a cataclysm that has wiped away everything, and all that remains is the mayor on a block in the middle of nothing. It's very sad. And there's no one remembers why or how any of this happened. And you're there very sad. Then you find a rock. That rock sprouts arms and legs, and then you hug that rock, and you find a bigger rock, and then you'll get together and you have a cry over some ground, and you make some flowers, and so basically this ends up building up. I'll put in this is very early, showing how the mechanics work. So there's a giant tree, and whilst you are the mayor, you can you can just change control to any other character. So you're the giant tree, and you can eat any other character. You go, come over here. And then they grow as fruit on the tree and they fall down. And then, at a certain point, one of the characters is a giant mouth. I take the giant mouth and I eat all that new fruit. I go, at that point, shit at them all, and they're all shit people. At that point, this is when the toilet people come. Giant toilet arrives. Yeah. There's a toilet. There's a few other things around. And then I can flush those shits. So basically, every character is a tool for interacting with another character. Yeah. They may not have unique interactions behind them, but they all have their specific purposes. Yeah. And so the game is then structured as it's very, very minimalistic. So at the top, I've just got a bunch of shits, and when I make a shit, it marks it off. Oh, I got to make 5 shits, but 3 are marked off, and I've only made 1. Oh, because everyone else is just interacting in the background, and they can just fucking solve it themselves. Honestly,
just hit go.
It's just watch. It's like a playground simulator, like watching the interactions go. And it's very much then people get excited and they want to get blown up by you. So you've got to get together, and you can swap all different hats, and the hats do different things. But if someone tries to pick up the mayor's hat and they're not the mayor, it doesn't work because no one can harness that power but the mayor. So you all join hands because there's a hand-holding mechanic. Of course there is. You make a circle and you might just start all dancing in the circle. It's like a time for everyone to explode. And everyone goes, yay! And all the voices, I bet, are literal children. They're all like, yay! They sound like they just recorded them on a playground. And look, in the right mood, you'll want to kill yourself. But if you're in just the happy mood, it's delightful. I think this game is, I described it today, it's a game for young children. It's a game for stoners. And it's a game for people who look like they're stoners but aren't. So that's me in the last group. I can enjoy a stoner sensibility without being stoned.
Can you hum any themes from it?
No, but it's the music so far. I haven't checked the composer. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just not the same as Katamari. But also the main themes at the beginning also remind me of the music from Dendy Dungeon. Maybe these people are the same person. I don't know. I need to do some research to all that. But it's very like a cappella. Yeah. Some funny voices mixing together. Weird not words being sung. I have managed to play it on both PS4 and on PC. PS4 does suffer some frame rate issues because it is it's weird. It's really minimalistic.
But there's a lot going on.
But there's a lot going on with these interactions.
The simulation.
Because you can climb everything as well. So it's like, okay, well, how does a mouth climb a tree while in the background someone's being flushed into a toilet that does it's like they're all simple, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on. And he's never none of his games have been terribly well optimized. So if you got a decent PC, go on PC because it runs better.
And you can get it for $10 off.
And $10 off, which I think makes it $10. Yeah. $10 US. I'll just put that caveat on there again because they don't do the regional pricing, which sometimes I forget. I go like, oh, that's a good price. I go, wait, it's not. That's not a good price at all.
Just add $100 to that price.
Yes. But yeah, Wattam, it's a real unique game. I haven't put enough in to say if I really give it a push or not, but it is charming. It's full of just surprising interactions. The control scheme's a little bit weird. You have camera control, but it's not on the right stick.
So you're using control.
It's on the triggers, and you use the right stick to select another character. But you get used to it.
Yeah.
Very interesting game. Okay, what have we got left? We've got something from Sam and something from James. What are those things?
I just want to give a quick mention to ones of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've come to my radar recently.
I've never even heard of this
thing. Relatively new. The third one, so it's 3 games. I've played.
But are they in a series?
Yes.
Okay.
I've played the first 2. The third one only came out a few months ago.
So what is the game called? Stop keeping me in suspense.
This is We Were Here. We Were Here 2, spelled TOO, and We Were Here Together. They are 3 co-op puzzle games.
Oh,
I think I actually own one of these.
The first one's free. So the low price of nothing. The second one is fairly cheap, and the third one is also fairly cheap. I think they're all less than $20, like the second 2. So they're effectively the way I describe them.
I've seen this.
Yeah.
So tell me it's good.
They're very enjoyable.
But
it's like
does it need to co-op it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to play it 2-player. So it is
hey,
like
Paul, I know a person.
It is like playing.
I know someone too, James.
It is like an escape room, effectively. The first one's done a bit differently to the next 2 because they kind of expanded on it.
Is this game relevant to you? Similar games you've played: Resident Evil 5, Dota 2.
I wouldn't trust that. So the premise of the first one, you got 2 people, and when you start the game, you pick one person's, I think, the librarian, one person's the explorer. And the way it works is you're both in the same castle, and whoever's the librarian, a bunch of rooms, a bunch of information, there's books with writing on it, there's posters with symbols on the walls. You don't know what any of it is. There's a walkie-talkie. Pick it up. The other person, they're in an underground crypt. There's a walkie-talkie. They're seeing buttons they can push with symbols on them. They're seeing whatever. So it's a puzzle game where you're conversing only through the walkie-talkies. And I played this through with Elliot, and we actually just used the Steam voice chat because we had issues with the microphone setup with the walkie-talkies.
With the in-game.
Because it forces push to talk, but you can kind of it lights it up when you're talking when the other person's talking, but you can override each other and just completely miss that they're trying to say something.
Actual walkie-talkie
if you're
rules.
talking, if you're doing push to talk and they try to talk, there's no signifier that they're doing so.
Well, we can just decide that Paul talks all the time, right?
Let's be honest.
But it's a puzzle game. The first one especially is built on the premise that one person has all the information to solve the puzzles, and one person has all the things to do to progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you solve each puzzle, it unlocks a door to the next area, and later on ones are there's time sensitive, so you've got to try and figure out which clues are relevant. You're trying to explain what a symbol looks like because you're just going off what you can see, so it becomes a lot about how you
keep talking or nobody explodes
information. It's all about how you pass the information back and forth.
So second game,
the second game is basically expands on that premise, and again when you start, I think it's King and Jester. It might be King and something else as the choice, but it doesn't tell you what the difference is. You just pick one.
Because really all I'm hoping to hear at this point is that
the second one is that both people have things to do in the puzzle.
Yes, that's all I want to hear.
Both people have parts of the information to solve the puzzle.
That's cool, Because the first one, I get this, but I do see, you just get the frustration of never doing the stuff and the frustration of never seeing the information.
We actually played the first one twice.
Oh, yeah.
So we played it as each one, and it was... We played through, and then we immediately played through it again, swapped. And knowing how to solve the puzzles is not the same as getting through it, because I'm now seeing the new stuff. I didn't know, all I had was what was being described to me. So I'm now trying to figure out what his descriptions meant when he was talking to me.
Because when we were playing...
and they are random. They're randomly generated solutions.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember,
so the way you solve it's the same, but the solution's different.
Because I remember I played a bunch of that game doing only... the reading off the screen, the manual, and I had no idea what it looked like. And then when I did get
when you
into
do it, you go, "Oh wait,
this is completely different."
It's not what you expect.
I have played Keep Talking No One Explodes 4 or 5 occasions. I have never been the bomb diffuser. I don't know what that game looks like.
Oh really?
Nope. I've only ever played the manual because I'm normally with a group of people and I'm taking them through and they want someone to run the game. So I'm running the game. I don't know what the bomb looks like. Never seen it.
Oh wow! So the experience that I had playing was with Cheryl and a lot of her friends. So they're all doctors.
So the way they describe stuff to me,
it was fascinating to watch because they're all doctors. They're all trained to kind of work under high stress situations and communicate incredibly efficiently. So very quickly, they will give the information that you needed in the most concise way possible. And it all happened really naturally. Until the psychiatrist came in, and he just could not. Like he was trying to
How does the bomb feel?
No, but it was more like he just couldn't look at the information on the screen and give it in a really concise way. Like he's sort of like really explaining all the bits. But the people that are worked in emergency, like bam, 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 like
they're like irrelevant. That it's red.
Perfect. So with these, like the second one. It's a much more of a series of puzzles, and like one will have one person has the information, one person solves it. The other one might be the other way around.
Yeah.
And there's a couple where you both have things to do and
sounds cool.
information. And it becomes, and there is this kind of loose, like overarching, like trying to figure out what's going on in this castle, and it as far as I can tell, it is a continuous thing through the three of them. But it is just kind of a premise thrown on top of the mechanics of it. And from what I'm aware, we haven't got around to playing it yet, but it's probably this week sometime we'll play the third one. It's basically just more of that.
Yeah.
It expands more on how much you have to do, and it really is like an escape room because you're in this 3D environment. It's first person, and there's no like connection between anything. You often have one person might have access to rooms that have hints for something later down the line, so you're trying to like figure out what's relevant to the puzzle you're solving at the same time as passing information, actually trying to figure out what the solution is as well as how to solve. Like it's a lot of fun, and like the first one I think we got through in a couple of hours. It's quite short. Second one was a single night of play, so maybe 4 hours at most, depending on how effective you are at getting through those kinds of scenarios.
James,
it was a lot of fun.
We both owned the first two games.
Yes, I thought I did.
Perfect.
I thought I did.
Well, the first one's free.
The first one's free.
I thought I did. Yeah. Tomorrow, let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
We getting down on this. This is right up our
That's why I added it to the list, because I thought, what? I know
so
two
mad
people
at
who
me.
might
It's
be
gonna
good
be
at this.
What the fuck are you doing?
And it's one of those things. It's definitely one of those things where, like you were saying, to keep talking, like until you actually go and look at what you're describing and the kind of information you have to pass across. A lot of it comes like there's a lot of things in there that are like they're symbols. And like, how do you describe that symbol to the other person so they know what you're talking about? So we were coming up with like shorthand for these symbols. It was like, a happy cat in a box. Like, and then I'm like, I think I know which one you're talking about.
So I'm just going to retell a story from a television show now.
Yeah.
So I have been addicted to watching Taskmaster recently. Have you ever seen Taskmaster? It's a British show. Greg Davis is the host. He's the Taskmaster. His little Alex Horn is his offsider who runs all the tasks. And each season they have 5 celebrities, and they're just given random tasks like, how far can you throw this pea down the carpet in the backyard? And they have to work out a way of doing it and winning the competition. So this is just reminding me of that. Yeah. So this was information. It was a group task, and what they had to do was they had to draw a picture. They had to convey the information. So one person saw the picture, and then they had to draw on the person's back in front of them, and then that person had to draw the picture that was being drawn on their back.
Okay, yeah.
So what I imagine tomorrow will be like with you and I is one person was drawing on the back, and the person was drawing along, and then he stopped. And the person continued drawing. And what was yelled was, "Why are you still drawing, you prick?" And he just drew a face. And when asked why he drew a face, it's like, I just didn't imagine any scenario where it wouldn't be a person. Stop, why are you still drawing, you prick? That's going to be my call for tomorrow. Fabulous. Also, Taskmaster, very funny show. It's the ultimate casual show.
Yeah.
There are no stakes. And half the time, half the contestants don't even care about winning the task. But then one person will try really hard.
I guess, have you been paying attention to a bit like that?
Oh, I love you having been paying attention.
None of them care.
Yeah,
but one or two kind of will.
Yeah, it's like someone once discounted it to me because they said, well, they just talk about Channel 10 shows and promote them. I'm like, you haven't watched the show, have you? They do talk about Channel 10 shows, but all they do is talk about how fucking terrible they are. That's my kind of television. Very self-hating dereliction. Okay, finally we had that on James's list. If you had written,
I will give it a quick shout out. I'm not going to talk
yeah.
too much about it. But I am a sucker for mobile MMOs.
You are. And let me get my phone for a minute. No reason.
You're going to download it. So the other day, Black Desert Mobile came out.
Well, how's the character creator?
Fantastic.
Is it exactly like Black Desert?
Yeah. And they had this really nice thing where you make your really nice character, and when you log into the game, the camera pulls in really close, and it's just looking at you. And it's like, oh, yeah, there's a nice look at your character. So yeah, it came out about, I think, a week ago now. And, it is a free-to-play Korean MMO. But, these mobile MMOs tend to be more clickers than anything else. So, there is combat. There is buttons and abilities and all that kind of stuff. But after a while, you just hit the auto thing. Yeah. You can't do it all the time. No. Like when you're in like a new, finding a new boss, it's like, no. You got to kind of do it. But it's not really too much about that. And it's always, but there's actually quite a bit of complexity to it. There's combos. There's they've got 8 abilities to pick from, and you're going to change between them. And there's it's a lot there. But most of the time, you just kind of ignore it. It's really mainly about.
I'm ignoring it already.
Yeah, you do your dailies, or you go off and fight some stuff. You get some resources. You pump it into your weapons. They get more powerful. Numbers get bigger. It's kind of what it is. But it's done in a very pretty way. Like the combat looks really nice. It runs okay. There's lots of busy work to do everywhere. What I've liked about it is that it's very clear with how to do the different busy work. So it's like if you're in your town. It's like, I need to upgrade this. Like, okay, well, I need this particular resource. So I tap it, and it goes, here are the 4 ways you can get that resource. And you go, oh, okay, I'll go do that. But I've been playing it now. I'm going to say probably put about 10 hours into it, a fair bit. I've actively playing it, not just putting it down. I'm doing stuff in it. Haven't spent any money. It hasn't tried to nickel and dime me yet. At some point it might. I don't know. But if you like casual little mobile things which don't require a lot of attention, the thing can play itself when you're not playing. It's like you have this black spirit mode.
That we figured out James's favorite type of mobile game is the one that's the equivalent to logging in to do your taxes once a day and not playing in the game.
Pretty much, it's like the progression is there.
Is Progress Quest on mobile?
No, probably not.
Don't know.
It's kind of
is.
I think it's an interesting thing to how do you take a game or genre which is about sinking massive amount of time into and convert it into something that actually works on mobile.
Just automate the time.
Oh yeah, it's like there's certain things you just don't bother. You just go automate. Yeah. So you're still doing a bunch of the stuff that you do in an MMO, but it's just done in an accessible way. It looks really pretty.
You're interacting with all the numbers, which is the most important part of an MMO.
Yeah, and it's got a bunch of systems that I like. Probably the biggest complaint I got with it so far is the Christmas event kind of sucks. It's like there's Santa, but there's just nothing much going on with it. But I don't mind
Santa?
Yeah, there's Santa there.
Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
Yeah, he's good. He tells you to go kill people.
Can you get him as a unit?
No, there is a Santa outfit I can get. It costs $40.
Oh, so there's a nickel and dime.
Worth it.
Yeah.
No, that's the dollar and dollar.
Yeah. If you want to spend, there's stuff to spend in that game. I just don't care. I like my character. She goes and whacks stuff, and I upgrade my weapons, and I'm a happy boy.
Fair enough.
Netflix has released The Witcher television show.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, it's fun.
And the first half of the episode was and then the second half was like,
It does take a little bit to start up.
Yeah, I've heard it does.
It does.
Picks itself up a bit.
Yeah. I heard one of the things that, because I've only watched the first one so far, is that it's not actually chronological.
Correct. Now, this is something I picked up on today when my boss mentioned it.
Yeah.
And I should have picked up on it because I have read the books.
Yeah.
And it made what I have watched so far make a lot more sense.
Yes.
Oh, so the episodes aren't in chronological order?
No, so...
The things that...
The scenes you're seeing in the episodes aren't
happening at the same time.
So
there are people that died in the first episode, which we will still see in the next episode.
So what it is... Okay, so it's following 3 core characters.
Yeah.
The bits it's following on those 3 core characters, at least as far as I can tell, probably until you're getting towards the end of the season, are happening very far apart.
Okay.
To the point that...
One of the problems being that some of those characters don't age. So it doesn't. You can't tell if you're not used to it.
So, for example, and probably not spoiling because it's The Witcher, everyone knows who characters in The Witcher are.
We know who Geralt is. Is it anyone past Geralt?
And Cyrilia.
Nah, never heard of
the name.
What, really?
Come on. So, what you're seeing with Geralt
Yeah.
in the first episode and what you're seeing with Ciri in the first episode are 30 years apart.
Oh, okay.
See,
Okay, yeah.
What I
Yeah,
think they're
right.
doing, and
Alright.
this hit me because I don't know if you felt the same, but it's very weirdly paced, even
it's
within
strangely
those
paced,
characters.
and
Like there's
whilst-
a lot of fast tracking.
They probably
going
should be a
on.
bit clearer about that.
Yeah,
Especially when
they drop a
why-
lot more hints as it goes on.
I don't know why you'd obfuscate
you're
that.
you're dropping a new fantasy world,
And
all
you're
these
dropping
new
people straight
worlds.
into things with characters
yeah,
they don't
bit-
really know.
Yeah, the new characters, new types of creatures. It's like The Witcher himself.
There's a lot
is
of implied
different
knowledge.
thing. Yeah, and
that
it's
they're
like,
doing.
and then to throw in the chronological thing
Yeah.
as well. It's like,
So
ah,
what I think
maybe a
they're
step too far.
doing is they're basically they're trying to introduce these characters like initial stories.
Yeah,
But they're having to fast track some of it so that it all lines
ends
up
up eventually. Yeah.
towards the end of the season, where I'm assuming they actually start
When-
doing the Witcher's story.
When
like,
they could
what
have
is
just
the story in the book.
done
They
a
could've
done a
just started
Watchmen slash a
from
what
that.
Lost slash a leftovers, where you just have a thing happen and then you do the next episode doing all the backstory.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting choice.
Watchmen
But-
finished.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I've got to finish it now.
Yeah. Worth it.
Didn't go to the lofty heights my imagination went, but my imagination had gone pretty wild by the end of
As
that.
it does.
Yeah, it's not really criticism, just
It was real solid.
yeah,
It was solid conclusion.
made the source material better,
Yeah.
which
And
is
I-
I think high praise.
I understood it. I liked that.
Cool. Okay, shall we call that an end? We're
why
just
not?
about to hit the 2.5 hour
Yeah.
mark.
Solid.
Yeah.
We got through an awful lot.
Yeah, there's
Well, 5 minutes of bullshit at the
Yeah.
beginning, so
quite a lot of
quite a lot of stuff. And I didn't even go into all the details of SkateBird.
Yeah.
It just really sucks. No, I don't. I'm starting to really dislike it because I've played it a few. And I'm like, you released a new demo. You must have done some work. It's like, nope, seems
Still
to be
the same.
one. Okay. Well, thank you for watching or listening to 8.5bit. You can go to our website, 8.5bit.com, on Twitter and Facebook. Please like, share anything you like on that. Subscribe to us on what? Are all these things true anymore? I just say them.
I'm on Spotify. We're on
definitely on
iTunes.
YouTube.
Are we on Spotify? We
Um,
were.
yeah,
at some
we
point,
get
weren't
We're on
Get
whatever
slurped.
RSS readers you may want to
we
use.
get slurped
Sweet.
into it.
Technically, we're on MyPlex.
We've got it. We've got a Discord.
Yeah, we got Discord.
So discord.8.5bit.com. And basically, the next episode this year, we really won't fit in this year. It'll be very early next year. We will do our game of the year, and I haven't told the boys exactly how we're doing it, so I'll tell them here.
So
we're
we've
doing
got
a
no
top
idea.
10, but it's a game, and we're going to bet on whoever's each other's
What are we-
top 10.
So
what are we
top
betting?
10 game of the year.
We're betting just favors of various types. No, it's just like points.
on like whose game
so
is
so
top,
no, we'll be
or like all the
we'll go like
numbers.
first round. I'll
Oh.
go like James's game of the year is, and I think that's a pretty safe bet so far. And
Because I said
and then
it.
I get
Oh, but now I'm going to use it against you.
It's
Well, you could do.
SkateBird.
then I get an extra.
It's not even out yet.
Yeah, Paul gets a point, and then James gets to go. I bet.
But you've played so many.
Oh, Paul, you played.
I don't
too
know if
many
I could
games.
come up with 10 games.
Really?
No, I could.
Of course.
You might not
can.
like most of them, but I could.
I don't have to like your games. That's the beauty of our personal top 10.
So it's personal games of the year.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Also, it's also good to also note games that we have not played.
Yes.
Because there are many games that I have not played. I was just thinking about Plague Tale Innocence today, how I really wished I'd given it a go. I have not played a single frame
was
of that
pretty
game.
astounding.
Well, I've been thinking, oh shit, I need to go play more of Rebel Outlaw Galaxy because I feel like that should be on my list, but I
Yeah.
haven't played enough.
I
to
think
justify putting
my
it on there.
anticipated games of the year, one of the highest ones was After Party. It came out. I put 10 minutes into
Yeah.
that game. I still haven't fucking got round to it.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
just
like-
too many games.
Yeah, so many games. Can't we stop for a year?
And there's all that
Game
Destiny to play.
Pass. It's all that Game Pass.
Number 3. Okay, we'll catch you all later, folks.
See you, everyone.
Bye.